Possibly heavy, heading for 14 degrees. With the 6 o'clock news, good morning. I'm Graham Goodings.
Make RAA-approved windscreen repairer, Complete Windscreens, your insurer repairer of choice. Visit completewindscreens.com.au.
4 people have been found dead at a home in Melbourne. Madeline Burke is there.
Police have cordoned off a home here in Bicknell Court after 2 men, a woman and a teenage boy were found dead inside a home. A neighbour has told 9 News he discovered his loved ones here just before 2 this morning and he believes they have died from a drug overdose. The cause of the deaths is yet to be determined by police, but they stress at this stage the deaths are not believed to be suspicious. Heartbroken family members have started to gather outside the home.
The federal opposition leader's son has been photographed holding a bag containing a white substance. The photo was posted to Snapchat with a caption suggesting it was a birthday treat and then deleted shortly after. It's not known what was in the bag. Peter Dutton's office has responded, saying it's a private matter for the Dutton family. The federal government's decision to allow vapes to be sold at pharmacies without a prescription has received a mixed response. A deal struck with the Greens yesterday will soften the proposed bans on e-cigarettes. From October, you'll be able to buy your vapes without a script. Australian Medical Association Vice President Doctor says this new arrangement will allow those looking to buy a vape to talk to a medical professional first.
But our understanding is that they would be behind the counter with strict limits on flavours and packaging and quantities that you can purchase at a time, so that it is really seen as a medical product and that we're not turning pharmacies into vape shops.
But the Pharmacy Guild has slammed the proposal, calling it insulting to pharmacists. NASA is being sued by a family in Florida after a piece of space junk crashed into the home. The space agency has confirmed the object was from the International Space Station and should have burned up on re-entry. Besides damage to the house, the family claims it endured emotional and mental distress and is seeking 120,000 Australian dollars. An Australian study has revealed just how much better young women feel about themselves when they get off social media. Gabriel Hodson has more.
Queensland's Griffith University has surveyed 175 women aged between 17 and 35 and trialled 3 different types of social media detoxification, the hardest, total abstinence. It found women felt the best about themselves after clearing away appearance-based content from their Instagram and TikTok feeds. As News Corp report, it resets the algorithm that responds to likes, comments, shares and views. Researchers say restricted time on photo-based social media causes women to be more discerning about what they view and not engage in endless scrolling. They also found the longer that women deactivated from social media, the better their well-being.
The state government will unveil its housing roadmap today. It's been prompted by supply not meeting demand and the housing affordability crisis. The aim is getting more homes built more quickly with a focus north of the city. Now turning to FIVEAA Sport.
Colours, custom design, any house, any style. Gliderol Garage Doors. Gliderol.com.au.
And good morning, Jace Kebb.
And good morning to you, Graham. We'll start with footy. Port Adelaide assistant coach Tyson Goldstack says Ken Hinkley is getting on with the job despite mounting pressure on his position. Goldstack has told the FIVEAA Sports Show Hinkley is not letting the situation get him down.
The weight is huge and the noise he's hearing is huge and you can't silence that. But what he can control, I guess, is the way that he operates at the club, and he still comes in and I guess he has too much care and respect for the club and for his players to come in and drag his feet. So, yeah, he was in decent enough spirits this morning and just looking to turn this around.
To cricket, and Australia's T20 World Cup campaign is hanging by a thread after going down by 24 runs to India. Afghanistan will play Bangladesh later this morning to wrap up the Super 8 stage. Australia needs Bangladesh to win by a narrow margin to get through to the semi-finals. To tennis, and Ayla Tomljanovic is playing herself into form ahead of Wimbledon. The Australian has finished runner-up at the Birmingham Classic and says she's happy to slowly work her way back up the rankings.
Considering how my past 18 months have looked, I think that there's a lot I can still improve on, but the great thing is this whole week I've managed to find ways to win even when my back was against the wall.
And finally, at the Euros in the first half, Croatia leads Italy 1-0 and Spain leads Albania 1-0 too. And that's the FIVEAA Sport.
And now the FIVEAA forecast.
See any issue firsthand with AutoCam. Real-time video, direct to you from your AutoMasters technician.
Showers today, possibly heavy, heading for 14 degrees. Tomorrow, showers 15. Thursday, showers easing 16. Friday, a shower to 18. Right now, it's 9. More news as it happens on 5AA.
For the issues that matter most to the people of South Australia, catch Stacey Lee each week as part of 5AA Breakfast. Stacey joins David and Will to chat about the week that's been in SA, thanks to Keen Office Furniture and Keen Education Furniture, leading the way in office and education furniture, right here in SA.
What's got Mike singing? Mike just got an energy-efficient heat pump installed by EcoVantage. Not only is it using nearly 80% less energy than his old hot water system and saving hundreds off his power bills, he got it for free. Thanks to federal and SA government incentives, you can get your own energy-efficient heat pump from just $0. Pump your energy bills down with EcoVantage. Visit ecovantage.com.au.
The critical part of any healthcare is the care. It's about being by your side when you and your loved ones need us most. Through late night fevers, through the rough and tumble of weekend sports, through weird rashes, mystery aches, and knowing in your heart that something's not quite right. From surgery to rehabilitation, through emergencies, mental illness, chronic diseases, and for better health. Your doctor cares. Let's take care of them too. Authorised by Dr. David Pope, Samoa, Adelaide.
How far would you go for your dream kitchen? And how far would you go to get free installation? How about 15 minutes up the freeway to Balhanna Kitchens by Design? 2. The largest showroom in the Adelaide Hills. Custom build your dream with our award-winning designers and get free installation on your cabinets with laminate benchtops. For a limited time, of course. Balhanna Kitchens by Design. It's not too far to go to make your dream a reality. balhannakitchens.com.au.
Guessing your pick from a deck of cards is tricky. Awkward social situations, also tricky. Finding the perfect Volkswagen? Easy at Mawson Lakes Volkswagen's end of financial year sale. You can get first pick on a massive range of new and demo Volkswagens available for delivery right now. Loads of colours, loads of options, on-site finance and next day servicing. Easy, just get in before June 30. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, just a short drive from the city.
In Adelaide and across South Australia.
This is 5AA, always Adelaide.
Purchase any Hyundai until June 30 for 3 years free scheduled servicing. T's apply at participating Hyundai dealers.
5AA Winter Breakfast. Stacey Lee and Tom Wren.
Smack bang on 9 minutes past 6 o'clock here this morning on this Tuesday, the 25th of June. Hope you're having a great start to your day. It is Stacey Lee and Tom Wren with you through until 9 o'clock and all week. Stacey, good morning to you.
Morning, Tommy. How are you?
Really good, thank you. Nice to get some rain last night, wasn't it?
It was pretty crazy. Did you get the lightning and the thunder as well?
We did. I went out to my 10-year-old Harry. He's just got right into soccer, so they had a carnival last night for their school. And they had 5 or 6 games. They only went for 15 minutes. And then during the last game, the lightning went off and we went, ooh. It was a fair way away, but, we went, let's get out of here pretty quick.
Yeah, good call. Very good call. So did you get rained on? Or
then we did eventually, but the rain wasn't where we were at the time. But then at home, we're in Door Park. We got a good dump of rain just as we were driving home.
Yeah.
You?
Yeah, we got drenched. I wasn't out in it. I was just sitting on the lounge watching along. I had a quiet night in last night. But, yeah, it just came from nowhere, I thought. It was just out of nowhere, it just started pouring, and then the lightning and the thunder. But I wonder if it got to the areas we need it.
Well, that's it. We'd love to get your feedback this morning, listeners. 8223 0000. How much rain did you get in your catchment or in your rain gauges overnight? And to the farmers, the country listeners out there, if you're tuning in, they're the ones, we're showing our age, but they're the ones that really need it, aren't they, Stace? It's been such a dry May and even early part of June. Just hope they got a big dump of rain as well.
Jack's already sent us a text on 0448 08 1395. Trouble is, the rain's only in Adelaide, no rain in Moonta area in the last 24 hours where the farmers need it, which I guess confirms your fear, Tommy.
Yeah, exactly right. So keep those coming in on the Duttons text line, those text messages, or the call 8223 0000. Yeah, we need it. We've got more forecast today, and we'll talk with the Bureau after 6:30, but we need a lot more of it.
Yeah, I know. We absolutely do. It's good for the grass. I'll take it for the grass.
Need it for the lawn. Sick of having to shift the hose around and the sprinkler. And, this time of year, you should just be, it's all fine.
Yeah, it should be set and forget. It's sorting itself out this time of year, right? Yes, and so also today we're going to be talking about sink the rink is a phrase that was being thrown around over the weekend. There was a rally that occurred to sink the rink. We'll explain what it is and we'll talk about it after the break a bit later on. Another example of trees getting in the way of development.
Gee whiz, that's caused some massive issues, hasn't it, with the crows and Thebarton and everything they've been trying to do. All looks to be okay now, but that's been a massive talking point or an obstacle, literally and I guess metaphorically as well. But yeah, we'll do that a little bit later this hour. And we're going to go for a bit of a court wrap as well. It was a big day at our courts yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, we had the three youths charged over the Marion incident. They were in court. We also had the bicycle bandit in court yesterday. So we'll be covering that off later on this morning.
Looking forward to doing that. And the other thing that we'll play some audio of just over an hour or so time is Warren Tredrea. He was on the sports show last night and he's going to be on with Rowie for the rest of the week. But that is a big talking point about what he has had to say with regards to Ken Hinkley, or hasn't had to say. It's a tricky subject for him, and you sort of you're tiptoeing when you're on the board, but you're also working in the media and you're paid to make comment on things, and it's tricky, and he was elected to the board for a reason. But we'll play the audio a little bit later. It's a very divisive issue at the moment, what's going on at Port Adelaide and with the coach Ken Hinkley.
I'm just surprised when I saw, headlines online, FIVEAA sports show, someone said something, controversy, drama, and it wasn't Stephen Rowe.
Yeah. That's a good point. It's usually,
Rowie.
There's Rowie. I mean, you know that too well, don't you? With your little chat last week.
We love Rowie.
We do love
my
Rowie.
chats with Rowie.
That's what it's all about.
We're still getting some texts on the rain in 0448 08 1395 on the Duttons text line. Zip, no rain here in Wallaroo, says Annette. And Andrew says... Oh no, that's not a rain text. Never mind.
Okay.
I've got to pre-read these first.
Well, yeah, no, that can happen. Keep them coming though. Don't let the Duttons end of financial year deals pass you by. Find your new car at duttons.com.au 0448 08 1395. Stacks more coming up on the show as well. We'll be talking to Phil Curry. Looking forward to talking all things federal politics. Yeah, so he's always got plenty to say. And happier cities. I wonder how we rank up there. We're going to talk that a little bit later this morning too.
These surveys always come out, and I always wonder what they use to determine the happiest cities. What factors are they taking into account? How do they work out if people are happy in those cities or not? Have you ever been surveyed?
Not on that, no.
I reckon if they surveyed you, Adelaide would be the happiest city in the world. Tommy Wren, the most positive man in Adelaide.
I'm not sure about on a good day, maybe not on a bad day.
When's a bad day for you?
Yeah, they definitely happen. Maybe I'm just good at hiding them. 14 minutes past 6 o'clock. We've got a big show coming up. You are listening to FIVEAA Breakfast. Currently 9 degrees out there at the moment. We're going to go through the news headlines next, Stace. Looking forward to that. This is FIVEAA Breakfast.
Here I am, I'm a man on the scene.
Kia's most awarded SUV just got better. Get ready for the new, refined 7-seat Kia Sorrento. Now with a dual 12.3-inch panoramic display and Kia Connect technology. Visit kia.com.au to find out more.
Kia. Movement that inspires.
That's right. Look at the camera. Oh, it loves you. You got it. You're great. Keep it coming. Yes, I like that. Oh, what a natural.
Stop flirting with death. It could cost you more than you think. Mobile phone detection cameras are now fully operational. There's a grace period to get used to the new laws, so there's no fines yet, but fines will apply from September 19, where you'll lose $639 and 3 demerit points. Think road safety. A message from the Government of South Australia.
If the bank's declined your business loan, no worries. Universal Finance make business loans easy. No financials required. Unsecured business loans and business overdrafts. Universal Finance can help your business now. For lightning fast settlement, sometimes in just a matter of hours. See Universal Finance in Kent Town today. Or search Universal Finance right now. This is general advice only, and you should consider the terms and conditions before determining whether this advice is suitable for your situation. Treat your family and friends to something a little fancy from FIVEAA, your family liquor stores. If you relish your winter reds and you like them full-bodied, we have SA-made Shiraz, Cabernet Sauvignon and Malbec for you. A great way to warm up is with a dram of whiskey, and we have many great Australian distilleries with their own distinct flavours. Beer tastes change too, but you're covered with local craft stouts and porters. FIVEAA, your local independent SA family liquor store for over 45 years.
Join Phil Hoffman Travel on Saturday, July 6 for our exclusive Luxury Day, your gateway to the world's best land and cruise travel experiences, as we partner with the finest luxury travel brands. Enjoy a glass of champagne on arrival with exclusive offers, great value holidays, incredible prizes, enthralling travel talks and expert advice. Phil Hoffman Travel Luxury Day, Saturday, July 6, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Playford Hotel. Entry is free. Register at pht.com.au.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. Purchase any Hyundai until June 30 for 3 years free scheduled servicing. T's and C's apply at participating Hyundai dealers.
5AA Winter Breakfast. Stacey Lee and Tom Wren.
Another cool start to the morning here on 5AA Breakfast, 17 minutes past 6 o'clock on this Tuesday, the 25th of June. Stacey, we'll get into the news headline, shall we? We've both dressed for the weather a bit this morning, haven't we? You look very corporate, very smart.
Oh, thank you.
I don't usually wear the jacket, but I've just kept it on this morning.
Yeah, but are you still wearing... Hold on.
Yeah,
You're wearing short. You've got the pins out. I'm just going... My husband does this. We'll take Murray for a walk in the morning and he'll walk out and go, oh, it's freezing today. You are wearing shorts.
What do you expect?
You are not allowed to complain about the weather if you are not rugged up.
He's a good man,
you
Benny.
fall into that category today.
Well, Benny's a man after my own heart, dressing like that. I love him.
No, I won't allow it. I won't have it today.
Oh, good stuff. All right, let's get stuck into it. The federal opposition's leader's son has been photographed holding a bag containing a white substance. The photo was posted to a Snapchat account with a caption suggesting it was a birthday day treat, and it was deleted shortly after. It is not known what was in the bag. Peter Dutton's office says it's a private matter for the Dutton family.
It's a bit of aura. I think he's really young too, isn't he? Only just 18.
Yeah.
Young family. I mean, this is the trap of social media, isn't it?
Exactly. It's, everyone's got one, don't they? A phone, a camera.
They said it was deleted super quickly, but of course, once it's out there, someone screenshots it and sends it to one person, and they send it to 10 people, and it's gone.
It's viral. It's gone.
Yeah, it's out there. So yeah.
Oh, that is tricky.
Not that you need a word of warning from us to avoid social media, but this is a prime example.
Yep, they're the traps and the pitfalls of it. An American woman faced court in Adelaide yesterday, charged with importing a commercial quantity of a border-controlled drug. More than 2 kilograms of meth was allegedly found in the 60-year-old suitcase after she landed at Adelaide Airport on Friday. That carries an estimated street value of more than $200,000. She's been remanded in custody ahead of another court date.
Allegedly found 2 kilograms of meth. Do these people think they can just bring it in a suitcase?
I know.
I don't... Everything gets screened. I just assume anything in my suitcase is going to get looked at.
Forgive my ignorance here, but that must be a fairly hefty jail term, I would have thought, if she's found guilty.
What's the...
Couldn't be light. I mean, that's a significant amount, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know.
But, anyway, maybe we'll leave that to Sean Fuster.
Should be a hefty jail term.
Yeah. Australian Parliament House is welcoming a new chief therapy dog. Bailey, the golden retriever, will roam the corridors of power in Canberra, offering support to MPs and staffers. It's part of Therapy Dogs Australia's Pause at Work program.
I love this. Imagine if there were dogs in every Parliament House. I feel like we'd have a much calmer, less aggressive. There'd probably be fewer barbs thrown at each other. If there was just a cute little doggo sitting there in the aisle looking at you with the little puppy eyes going, please don't say that about them, please. Do you like a dog at work, Tommy?
I don't mind it. See, I'm actually a fan of dogs, but Sarah, my wife, not a fan.
Yes, because every now and then there's a little dog in the office and Sarah's not a big fan.
She goes running.
But that's fair enough. I used to be the same. I used to be scared of dogs. I never wanted a pet until Ben made me get Murray.
I think the other thing is, I think she knows that if we got one, we'd all be like, yeah, great, because, house full of boys. And then when it comes to looking after, caring for, feeding, walking, it's Sarah that gets lumped with it.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep, absolutely.
But I grew up with Labradors and loved them. You know,
Yeah.
Kelpies, all that stuff.
They just make you feel so happy.
They do, don't they? It's not a bad idea. I mean, Parliament has often been accused of being detached from reality. So, you know, just bring a little bit of...
I think this would fix the place. More dogs at Parliament and get rid of the bars as well. They should not be allowed to drink at work. They should get rid of the bar.
That seems like a pretty reasonable request, I would have thought.
Pretty stock standard.
Stacey, this isn't good news. SA water bills are set to go up. The Premier says housing projects are stalling because the water infrastructure isn't there and money urgently needs to be spent building it. Peter Malinauskas tried to soften the blow yesterday, saying while household water bills may be hit, money will be found in other ways too.
All of the infrastructure that is required to unlock housing growth was imposed exclusively on SA Water customers. It would be a massive hike, and that's just not really an option.
And not surprisingly, the opposition has come down pretty hard on the government. And speaking of, the government will hand down its future housing roadmap today, where we're set to find out how much the housing projects cost.
This is something I've been banging on about for a while on the afternoons program, because the state government over a year ago now announced the biggest land release in South Australia's history, and not one brick has been laid yet because most of the land they released doesn't have any infrastructure connected to it, so there's no water connected. So the builders can't build any homes because there's no water there. You've got the Riverlea development out north. They're trucking sewage out of there because there's no pipes connected to parts of that development. This is a huge issue, and I've been saying for a while this is going to be the second biggest issue to ramping at the next election because of the scope of it. And we do have very ambitious housing plans in South Australia at the moment, as we need to because of the housing crisis. We know how many people are waiting for a rental. We know how many people are trying to get into the market. I mean, if you go to an open inspection on the weekends...
It's insane.
Isn't it?
Yeah, there's hundreds. It must be so overwhelming and daunting for people that, you know, are competing and trying to crack in. It's tough.
So it's good that the government finally has an announcement to make on this. I will be watching that roadmap announcement later today very closely to make sure it's costed properly and to see where the money's coming from. We just had a state budget a couple of weeks ago. Why wasn't it announced in the budget? Is the money going to be... that means it's not in the budget. It's not budgeted for. So where's this money going to come from? There's lots of questions.
We'll dig into that. Yeah, we'll dig into that quite closely tomorrow, hoping to maybe get the Premier on the show. So looking forward to doing that.
Lots of questions.
A national task force could help meet the needs of millions of Australians with neurological conditions. It's estimated the diseases cost the country more than $100 billion every year. Neurological Alliance Australia Chairman Rowan Greenland says they'll raise their concerns at a summit in Canberra today.
We're launching a campaign, Count Us In, which has 6 clear policy priorities that we want all major parties to adopt ahead of the federal election. So we're rallying the neurological clans and making sure that our voice is heard by those with their hands on the levers of power.
It's a hot talking point, isn't it? The neurological studies and concussion, everything happening in sport. So not surprisingly, it's getting a lot of, I guess, debate within general society as well.
Yeah. Excuse my ignorance, but neurological conditions, is that... I'm not totally across the definition of that.
Well, yeah, I mean, the other one's gut health. That's the other one that gets spoken about a bit. I had no idea until recently how much and how impactful it is for so many Australians. And I've had some issues with it myself. But, yeah, your health is important, so... $100 billion, $100 billion, that's a lot of money. Anyway, Princess Anne has been taken to hospital with a minor head injury and concussion. The 70-year-old sister of King Charles was walking in her Gatcombe Park estate when the incident occurred. The injury is consistent with a potential impact from a horse's head or legs. So that is pretty nasty. Hope she's going okay.
Yeah.
Weather outside, look, it is probably our wettest week in, as far as I can remember, for a couple of months. Today, showers, possible heavy rainfalls, anywhere from 8 to 25 millimetres of rain. Hopefully we get on the heavier end of that spectrum and we do start to hit those areas that really need it. It was great to have some in Adelaide, but those country areas where the farmers are in particular. Tomorrow, it is going to be 14 today, so quite a chilly day. Tomorrow, just 15 showers, anywhere from 5 to 15 millimetres of rain. So again, another large volume of rain. Showers easing for Thursday, 16 degrees. Could get up to 5 millimetres is the forecast at this stage. A shower or two for Friday, a couple of millimetres of rain is forecast. And then some heavy falls again for Saturday, and that, of course, is when the Crows play the Giants. Saturday night, 1 to 15 millimetres is what we're expecting, and 15 degrees.
Can I just go back to today?
Mm-hmm.
Chance of thunderstorm in the late morning, possible small hail. So if you're out there going for a walk this morning or today and you get some hail, send us a photo, because we get the photos on the text line.
Yeah, that's
Love
a great
to see
call. And make sure you take the brolly and adequately protect yourself.
Raincoat. You'll need it all today.
And Sunday, a shower or two, 15 degrees, could get about 6 millimetres of rain. And Monday, the first day of July, is going to be a shower or two and 15 degrees. So some pretty significant rain coming over the next 7 days, particularly today. Let's get stuck into the sport, though, shall we? All thanks to Gliderol Garage Doors, adding strength, style and safety to your home, gliderol.com.au. Sammy Daddo joins us in the studio. Morning, Sammy.
Morning. Morning, Tommy. Thank you for turning my mic on. Morning, Stace.
Hello.
You spoke about Ken Hinkley and Warren Treadray in the Port comments. We'll get to that after 7 o'clock this morning. We'll jump into that.
Started a storm.
That's making the rounds. But another thing that's been flying under the radar, I think everyone knows by now, but the T20 World Cup taking place. Australia, we're not going too well. We're sitting second in the Group 1 ladder, but 3 wins and 2 losses. We played India overnight. Lost by 24. India scored 5 for 205. Rohit Sharma scored 92 off 41. Mitch Stark all right with the bowl, 2 for 45. And Marcus Stoinis, 2 for 56. Trav Head finally finding some form for an Australian side, because we know he was dominating in the IPL. 76 off 43. But India, they got the job done with by 24 runs. Captain Mitch Marsh. Now, we need Bangladesh to beat Afghanistan. Here is Mitch Marsh post-match saying just that.
I think in a run chase like that, chasing 200, if you can keep it at 10s for as long as you possibly can, you're well and truly in the game these days. And you know, India had some class bowlers at the end that were too good for us.
Have you ever wished Bangladesh to win a game more strongly than you would tonight?
Come on, Bangladesh.
Yeah, that match is going to be in about 3 hours, 10 o'clock our time.
Yeah.
I actually got up at 2:30 this morning and watched it. The Australians batting anyway.
You are nuts.
Yeah, I saw Trav was on 34 at the time, and I went, we're a chance. And I got up, he got to 76, but the other batters kept getting out. And now we need Afghanistan to lose, Bangladesh to win, but not by so much that Bangladesh have a better net run rate. It's going to be dicey from here.
Did you see Afghanistan and Australia?
Yeah, not good.
That was unbelievable. Rashid Khan, of course, our striker, leggy.
Horrible wicket.
Terrible wicket. How is Afghanistan going to go against Bangladesh? Do we have a chance with that setup?
Bangladesh can win. Oh, there's no doubt.
But
But I would back Afghanistan to win.
You'd like to put your money somewhere, so you're putting them on Afghanistan.
I think Afghanistan will go through, unfortunately. So the Aussies will be finished.
Yeah,
not good. Disappointing. It started so positively, but unfortunately, that's going to be it for the Aussies.
Boys, we already have a text from Wally the Walnut on the Duttons text line 0448 08 13 95. Morning, has Treadray gone soft since being on the board? Most people think so. Pink marshmallow soft.
I don't think he's gone soft. I just think that he has to hold a lot of the conversations privately. I've got no doubt that he's not afraid of a tough conversation, and I'm sure he's having them with the board and with a few people, and I'm sure it's ruffling a lot of feathers, but I don't think he can convey that publicly. You're supposed to boards push a united front. It's not looking that way at the moment, though, is it?
It would be a tough tightrope to tread.
Yep.
Very tough line to tread.
Well, this is the thing. We've seen Eddie McGuire do it for years as president of Collingwood back in the day, and he'd also cop it all left and right. James Brayshaw hosting the footy show whilst being the president of the North Melbourne Footy Club.
That's right.
It's a tough tightrope to walk, and I think Treaders is finding out just how tight it is.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll play that audio for you after 7 o'clock. Keep those text messages coming. Great work, Sammy. Really appreciate your work. We'll head across to the newsroom now. Graham Goodings is standing by.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Showers today, possibly heavy, with the 6:30 news. I'm Graham Goodings.
Chipped windscreen? RAA approved repairer Complete Windscreens repairs it from just $99. Find the big red koala.
4 people have been found dead in a home in Melbourne. Neighbour and uncle of one of the deceased, Corey, made the grim discovery when he came home just before 2 this morning. 2 men and a woman and a teenage boy were found dead. Corey telling Today he believes it may have been a drug overdose.
I think an overdose, but
I'm not too sure exactly. I found him and it's tortured me. It's really got to me.
At least 20 people have died in a fire in a lithium battery factory in South Korea. Firefighters are unable to get inside the building, which is south of the capital, Seoul. It's believed a battery cell on the second floor of the factory exploded, setting off a chain reaction. Princess Anne is in hospital after suffering a head injury on her country estate. UK correspondent Brett McLeod.
Buckingham Palace says the Princess Royal sustained minor injuries and concussion following an incident at her Gatcombe Park estate. It's understood the Princess was walking on the grounds when an incident left her with the head wounds. The palace says the cause is unconfirmed, but because horses were nearby, she may have been struck by a horse's head or legs. The 73-year-old was treated at the scene before being taken to hospital for tests, accompanied by her husband. She remains in hospital, the palace says, as a precautionary measure for observation and is expected to stay there for a few more days to make a full and swift recovery.
The housing crisis will take centre stage today. The Premier will unveil his housing roadmap. It's about building more homes and getting them built quicker with investment in water and sewage connections. Australian adults will be able to buy plain packaged nicotine vapes from pharmacies without a prescription from October. The federal government has had to water down its proposed crackdown to get a bill through Parliament. The original proposal would have required a script from the GP. A major pay boost is planned for the Office of Governor-General when Samantha Mostyn takes over next month. The role currently receives a salary of $495,000 a year. The federal government wants to increase that to more than $700,000. Senior Minister Patrick Gorman has told Parliament previous Governors-General had received judicial or military pensions on top of their wage, but Ms Mostyn will not.
Where in the past a Governor-General has been the recipient of other Commonwealth entitlements, such as a military pension, the annual salary has been adjusted accordingly. Ms Mostyn is not a recipient of any such entitlements.
There are fresh calls to ensure older Australians are protected from COVID-19 following concerns about low vaccination rates. All Australians aged 75 and over are recommended to receive a COVID vaccine every 6 months, while those aged 65 to 74 should receive a dose at least every 12 months. Critically older Australians no longer have to wait 6 months from their last infection to receive their next booster. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderol Garage Doors, adding strength, style and safety to your home. Gliderol.com.au.
And here's Jace Kemp.
Thank you, Graham. Port Adelaide will step up its training this week after a lacklustre effort against the Lions. Power assistant coach Tyson Goldsack has submitted to the 5AA Sports Show. More needs to be done at training.
Are we getting the intensity right at training? Are we challenging them enough in certain aspects of the game during training to get a better performance on game day? And you know, we probably can work a bit harder in that area.
Meantime, the Crows could again be without Taylor Walker for its home game against GWS. Assistant coach Scott Burns says Walker is still struggling with a sore back.
Really reluctant, though, to say he's going to be right, because it's just a hard thing with a back at any time, but especially when we're a little bit older, it's very much a day by day. We thought he'd only miss a week, and we definitely gave him a little bit more time to get over this one. So we just need him to make sure he's got his power back and he's fresh and he's ready to go whenever that is.
State of Origin returns to the MCG tomorrow night for just the sixth time in its history. 90,000 is expected at the G for Game 2. Dermot Brereton is urging the players to soak up the atmosphere.
By hook or by crook, when you get out to the MCG, see if you can get out into the middle, stop and just look up at the stands. It's awesome. It's one of the best moments you'll ever feel in a sporting career.
And finally, in the Euros, Spain has beaten Albania 1-0, while Croatia and Italy have drawn 1-1. And that's the 5AA Sport.
And now the 5AA forecast.
See any issue firsthand with AutoCam. Real-time video, direct to you from your Automasters technician.
Showers today, possibly heavy, 14 degrees. Tomorrow, showers 15. Thursday, showers easing 16. Friday, a shower 2, 18. Right now, it's 9. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Purchase any Hyundai until June 30 for 3 years free scheduled servicing. T's and C's apply at participating Hyundai dealers.
5AA Winter Breakfast. Stacey Lee and Tom Wren.
We are up and about this morning on 5AA Breakfast, 25 minutes to 7 o'clock. It is Tuesday, the 25th of June. Now, Stacey, before we get into our next guest, there is a power outage in the Seaford area. About 2,500 customers. bit more than that actually, 2,600 customers currently affected in Seaford, Seaford Meadows and Seaford Rise. SA Power Network crews are still investigating the cause of the power out, but estimated restoration is at about 8 o'clock this morning. So very inconvenient as you're getting ready for work or getting ready for school. Some traffic lights will be affected, so please drive to the conditions, particularly with the slippery and wet roads out there.
Make sure you're the first one to jump in the shower so you get the hot water.
Yeah, correct.
Can't boil the kettle, can't make your morning tea.
I mean, it's not the biggest outage, is it? But still, it's annoying, isn't it?
It's annoying for the morning routine, getting the kids ready for school. No one can have baths or showers. Like I say, you can't make your morning coffee. Ooh.
That's a disaster.
Yeah, it would be, absolutely. Speaking of cool winter mornings, Adelaide's South Australia rather, coolest winter festival is about to begin a few days' time. Carl Charter is the CEO of Experiencing Marine Sanctuaries and joins you now. Good morning, Carl.
Good morning, Stacey and Tom. How are you going?
Yeah,
good, thank you.
Good. So the coolest winter festival, it's Cuddlefest apparently. Tell us, what is Cuddlefest?
Yeah, Cuddlefest is one of the biggest festivals in Whyalla at the moment. We've got about 2.5 million cuttlefish coming to the shallows each year at this time of year, beginning about probably the end of this month right through to the end of August. And over the last 20 years, it's got more and more popular with Sir David Attenborough's Blue Planet brought up into the limelight. And we've got overseas travellers on top of thousands of South Australian families coming through to see these incredible creatures each year.
2.5 million of them.
Oh, sorry, 250,000. I haven't had a coffee yet.
Extra zero, that's all right.
Yeah. Carry the one, that's okay.
Yeah, just an exaggeration there. Yeah, still 250,000 cuttlefish in 8 kilometres of coast. There's a lot of cuttlefish to see in one dive. It's incredible to be in there with them, be surrounded by so many these amazing creatures.
And obviously something really popular to do as well, Carl. I mean, I've been very, very fortunate. I work for Hello SA. I've managed to go shark diving in Port Lincoln. I've gone snorkelling in KI. I've done some amazing experience, but this sounds like a bit of a bucket list thing as well.
Oh, yeah, bucket list thing for sure. I was invited along by friends probably about 15 years ago and thought, why would you go to drive all the way up into the middle of nowhere to see a couple of cuttlefish? But when I got there, I was just amazed by the number and the colour of these cuttlefish. So I've been up there every year since that day. I've been up there every year with family and friends. And now I'm lucky enough to take hundreds of people in as part of my job at Experiencing Marine Sanctuaries.
Because you don't see a group this big together anywhere else in the world.
No, you don't. No, you might see 2 or 3, maybe 4 or 5, but there's nowhere else in the world that you'll see about 1 per square metre. So you imagine your lounge room, there'll be about 50 cuttlefish in the area of your lounge room where you float across the top, maybe a half a metre of water or 2 metres of water, but it's very shallow, and there are just cuttlefish as far as you can see.
And as we know, Carl, the Whyalla is the gateway to the Eyre Peninsula. It's a beautiful part of the world, isn't it? So if people are looking for something to do to get away, it's a fabulous spot.
Yeah, and as you said, you can go on a bit further. You can see the whales and the Bight. You can see the sharks over at Port Lincoln. Sea lion tours at Baird Bay. So it's a real gateway to a real marine wonderland going through. So a lot of people do come to Cuddlefest and move on to these other areas. I've done that myself and been on those tours. So I think, to go to the Cuddlefish is a bucket list thing for South Australia, and I'm so surprised that the people haven't been to see it yet.
Yeah. I've been to Baird Bay. We went for our honeymoon on a trip of the West Coast, and we went and swam with the sea lions in Baird Bay, and that was really, really cool. And I don't know if this is a silly question, Carl, but what does a cuttlefish look like? Is it a sort of jellyfish-esque?
Well, everyone's probably seen squid either pulling up in the jetty or underwater. They're related to the squid and the octopus.
Yeah, okay.
So I think if you put the two together, the squid and the octopus, you get the cuttlefish, which have really colourful skins. They're called chromatophores, and these little pigments in their skin are more. It's like a high definition TV. They'll flash through all the colours of the rainbow within a couple of seconds. So as you float near them, they'll be either trying to attract females in to mate, or they'll be trying to ward off all the other males that are trying to compete. So a lot of action and colour and morphing they can camouflage themselves as a rock or a bit of seaweed. They can swim over white sand and turn white, and then swim over a bit of green seagrass and go green. They're just, they're amazing. I've like I said, been watching them for the last 15 years, and every time I go up to Stony Point and have a look, I see different behaviour, different colours. It's just one of those times a year that I just can't wait to get up there. So I'm actually packing to take all the EMS crew up there at the end of this week. We'll be taking schools in for about a week, about 9 schools, local schools, and we'll go into community groups, working closely with National Parks and Wildlife Service and Eyre Peninsula Landscape Board to take people in for a special day on the 6th of July, and then we're going into community tours for 3 weeks. So I'll be in the water for, quite a few dives over the next few weeks, and very much looking forward to it.
It sounds great. When does that festival actually start, Carl, and how can people get involved?
My part of the festival these days is in the water, but we do get, the festival is above water and wireless. We get a lot of activities with art and craft and different guest speakers coming through. We've got Science in the Pub on the 5th of July, for instance. Our big time is starting this week, and it finishes when the cuttlefish slowly die off. They only live for 1 year. They've got a 1 year life cycle. So this is their only opportunity to lay their eggs. So at the end of August, we've got basically all the cuttlefish start to die off, and all the dolphins, sea lions and fish and birds going for a big feed. And then it's all over for another year.
We're seeing some pictures on the Foodland Supermarkets Facebook and YouTube live stream. It looks absolutely awesome. Should be a great festival,
Great.
Carl. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you.
That's Carl Charter, the CEO of Experiencing Marine Sanctuaries. Sounds like it's going to be pretty cool in 2 ways. The water will be absolutely freezing.
It will, yeah.
But it will be very cool to see them.
Well, yeah, and it is like, it's a real thing, isn't it? I mean, you mentioned you've done some swimming with the sea lions, which
So
was
cool.
really cool. And I must admit, I did the shark diving and
Did you
the
see a shark?
snorkeling. Yeah, 3. We were very lucky because sometimes you do have the tours where you don't see any, and you can be there for 6-7 hours, and it takes a good 3 hours to get there as well.
Oh.
You make a full day of it.
Yeah,
It's a fantastic experience, but there are occasions where, it's nature yet.
Well, yeah, you can't predict these things.
If they don't want to be there, they don't want to be there. But if you're thinking about doing it, you're well protected. I know we've had some bad, instances in the water of late, but this is very, protected and safe. So it's a fabulous thing to do, just to have a look around and how close you are to everything. It's it's fantastic. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, the sea lion experience at Bird Bay was amazing. I'm not an action sports
Not a
person.
junkie.
No, I would never do bungee jumping or skydiving or anything like that. So to get in the water was a big deal for me. But once I was in there, it was hard to get me out. It was beautiful.
I've only done both of those once, bungee jumping and skydiving, same day.
What?
And whitewater rafting in the morning. It was in New Zealand many years ago now.
You are more nuts than I thought you were. One day.
It was a good day. I slept well.
Would you ever do any of them again?
Bungee jumping, I'm not so sure. It's the second biggest one, I think, in the Southern Hemisphere. It was in New Zealand.
I do not want to, no.
It was over 100 metres, and you've got to dive like you're diving into a pool. So it's very... Whereas you want to jump feet first. But the problem if you do that is then you flick down and you can do your neck and...
No. I don't want to be involved in any of that. How did you get all 3 in the one day?
Yeah, it was busy. It was very early in the morning, the whitewater rafting, then it was bungee jumping mid-afternoon, skydiving late, I reckon, at sunset, which was gorgeous. Skydiving, I kind of thought, it almost doesn't feel real because you're so high.
Were you strapped to someone else?
Will McDonald, who you know very well across the road, I think he's done enough jumps now that he can do it on his own. He's got his licence. He's a junkie for it.
Oh, gosh, so not for me. I don't even do roller coasters. I will hold everyone's handbag. I'll hold everybody's wallet. I'll have the snacks waiting for you when you get off. But I will not go on a ride.
Yeah, I struggle on the rides a bit as well, though, and it's amazing. A 10-year-old boy, Harry, loves it. It's that no fear thing.
Yeah.
Whereas the older you get, it's like when you're in a plane, you get more nervous, more anxious. Don't you?
No, I was even an 8-year-old not going on roller coasters. Like, go on, I'll hold your wallet, Dad. Go on.
No worries, you go for it. It is 6:45. Time to check out the traffic for the first time this morning. And we will do that all thanks to the new McSmart meal from Macca's. 2 burgers, small fries and small soft drink, $6.95. T's and C's apply.
Thanks, Tom, and morning, Stacey. Wet roads from rain overnight, so take it easy on the drive into work and look out for crash at Marston South Road near Everard Avenue. Got a few delays there at the moment too. Seaford, blackout affecting traffic lights on Griffiths Drive and also Commercial Road near Main Street, and slow for works at Tea Tree Gully, North East Road near Walters Street. Cameras, the Esplanade, Seaford and May Terrace at Lockleys. Looking for a new mattress? The Snooze end of financial year sale is on now. Save up to 50% off mattresses and up to 40% off bed frames. Hurry, sale ends Sunday. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide Tech Guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
You don't need to be a tech expert to know that technology is now part of everything we do. AI, or artificial intelligence, is a next big game changer. It doesn't just make things easier or predict what's next. It can truly transform your daily life. It handles the little things so you can focus on what really matters. You'll find plenty of AI inside the latest Microsoft Surface Pro. It's the fastest and smartest Surface Pro ever, thanks to their AI called Copilot. The Surface Pro features a 13-inch touchscreen, ample memory, all-day battery life, seamless graphics, and AI-enhanced capabilities to supercharge your workflow. Experience the best combination of Copilot and PC with the Surface Pro. Prices start from $1,899 at Harvey Norman.
Check out this great offer at a Harvey Norman store near you.
Steinborner Automotive in Gawler, Barossa and Clare has always been well worth the trip, especially with their end of financial year sale on over 500 new, used and demo cars, including over 100 certified used commercial utes in stock, many with new car warranties and low kilometres packed with accessories. Plus, they're offering an additional $1,500 trade-in bonus on all trade-ins. Head to one of Steinborner's 8 locations or view the whole range at steinborner.com.au. Steinborner Automotive, it's well worth the trip.
Now, when you're getting outside, you don't just do a good barbie, you're the tong master. You're not just flipping snags, you've earned the title of Backyard Hospitality Director.
I've heard you referred to as that before, Tommy.
Yeah, I've several times.
Yep.
I wonder why people were whispering in the corridors about me. So you deserve the very best outdoor kitchen from Adelaide Outdoor Kitchens.
Choose from the best appliances at a bar fridge. I mean, who doesn't need a bar fridge? Or a pizza oven, or you can stun your guests with one of their custom-made concrete bench tops. They do indoor concrete bench tops as well.
That sounds good.
It does sound good. These handmade bench tops can really update any kitchen space. Custom made for you. Every piece is unique, especially for someone as unique as you, Tommy.
Call for a consultation and quote today or visit the Seaford Meadows showroom on Farrow Circuit. The best backyard hospitality directors choose Adelaide Outdoor Kitchens. Head to the website adelaideoutdoorkitchens.com.au.
Hey Gary, if I find my favourite power tool cheaper down the road, Toolkit Depot will beat it?
Yep, they'll beat any competitor's price.
Can't beat that.
Nope.
Seen it cheaper? We'll beat it. That's our price beat promise. T's and C's apply. Toolkit Depot. Everything you need to get the job done.
Purchase any Hyundai until June 30 for 3 years free scheduled servicing. T's and C's apply at participating Hyundai dealers.
5AA Winter Breakfast. Stacey Lee and Tom Wren.
11 minutes to 7 o'clock on 5AA Breakfast, 25th of June. Stacey, Lee and Tom Wren with you through until the end of the week. Looking forward to another big show today. Right now, Stace, it's time to head across to the Weather Bureau.
Yes, Simon Timke's there. Good morning, Simon. Think we've got you there, Simon?
Hello, Stacey. Hello, Tom.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, doing well, thank you.
Did you get rained on last night?
No, I didn't, luckily. I managed to dodge the showers, but there certainly were a few around. We recorded 9.4 millimetres here in the city, and generally speaking, the order of 3 to 9 millimetres across the Adelaide Plains and the northern hills. A bit wetter about the southern hills, where most places picked up 10 to 20 millimetres or so. And I think we've got a little bit more on the way. The radar is clear around the Adelaide area right now, but we've got some showers approaching from the west. There's some showers over sort of the foot of York Peninsula at the moment, fairly frequent showers over Eyre Peninsula. So I think we'll see those move over the Adelaide area during the day. Chance there could be a rumble of thunder and a flash of lightning as well, sort of late morning and afternoon. Currently we've got a couple of storms out over the west coast of Eyre Peninsula and a couple about Kangaroo Island as well. Also a chance there could be a little bit of small hail and some of those heavier showers and thunderstorms. So a bit of a wintry day on the way. A little bit windy too. The winds are northerly at the moment. They'll tend around a bit more northwesterly around the middle of the day and freshen up a little bit. And temperature-wise, pretty cool day on the way. 14 degrees the maximum. Currently in the city, sitting on 9.4 degrees. Around the suburbs, expecting 14 as well for Glenelg. Just 13 degrees for Noarlunga and Elizabeth, and 11 degrees for Mount Barker today. A chance there could be some local heavy falls with those showers too, about the hills and the southern suburbs in particular. Another showery day on the way for Wednesday, down to 8 overnight and 15 degrees. And then I think we'll see the showers gradually ease a little bit during Thursday. So a couple of showers are a bit more likely during Thursday morning, a bit less likely during the afternoon, expecting 16 for Thursday. Friday, I think, probably mostly dry during the day, but likely to see some showers develop during the evening as the next front moves across. But a little bit warmer that day, 18 degrees the maximum. And then over the weekend, I think a showery day again on Saturday, 15, and still a shower or two left over for Sunday and 15 as well, guys.
Good to get some rain on the way, that's for sure. Just tell us a little bit more about the potential of hail today, Simon. Is that a likely thing, or it's hard to say?
Oh, look, I think with some the atmosphere is certainly cold enough, and I think with some of those heavier showers, there is a chance there could be a little bit of small hail. Nothing big, I don't think, but a little bit of small hail possible in some of those showers, or if there is a thunderstorm around.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that. Thanks so much for your time this morning, Simon.
Thanks, guys.
Simon Timke there from the Bureau. We'll head across now to South Australian Police.
Yes, and Senior Constable Jen Cullinan is there. Good morning, Jen.
Good morning, Stacey and Tom.
A man's been stabbed at Evanston Gardens. Tell us what's happened.
Yes, he has. This was just about 2:15 this morning. Emergency services were called to Gonis Circuit after reports a man had been stabbed. Witnesses reported two men breaking into vehicles in the street before they fled the scene, and the victim followed one of the men onto Seabrook Street where he was assaulted. When police arrived, they located the 42-year-old local man with stab wounds to his back. He's been taken to hospital where his injuries are considered serious but not life-threatening, luckily. Police have searched the area, but they've been unable to locate the suspects as yet. So we're asking anyone with information to please call Crime Stoppers 1800 333 000.
Okay, hopefully you can have some luck there in apprehending that suspect.
Yeah.
Jen, in terms of another incident overnight, unfortunately, a fatal crash just north of Port Augusta.
Yes, and this was about 2:50 yesterday afternoon. Police and emergency services were called to the Stewart Highway, like say about 50 k's north of Port Augusta, after reports of Volkswagen Tiguan had crashed into a tree. Now, sadly, the rear-seated passenger of that vehicle, a 63-year-old man from Victoria, he sadly died at the scene. Major crash investigators did attend from Adelaide, and following their investigations, they've arrested the driver of that vehicle, a 61-year-old woman. She's been charged with causing death by dangerous driving. She's been refused police bail, and she's going to go to the Port Augusta Magistrates Court this morning. And the road has reopened for traffic.
Okay. Oh, thanks for bringing us up to date with everything this morning, Jen. Have a great day.
You too, thanks, guys.
Great stuff. Jen Cullinan there from South Australian Police.
It is 6 minutes to 7 here on 5AA. Tom Wren and Stacey Lee with you for breakfast. And if you live in or around the Marion area, you will know all too well about the plans for an ice rink. But they could be put on ice after a Sink the Rink rally took place over the weekend. Sarah Andrews is the Labor member for the seat of Gibson, which takes in this area, and was one of the organisers or attended the Sink the Rink rally. She joins you now. Good afternoon. Good morning, Sarah Andrews. I keep making
Good morning.
By Friday, I will remember to say good morning and not good afternoon. So why don't you want the ice rink to go ahead in its current location?
Yeah, it really is just about the location, and there are multiple reasons why the community is concerned about the location. Firstly, the council have endorsed cutting down 2 significant trees in order to make way for the ice rink. It also, the ice rink's planned to be right on Sturt Road, which is a very busy stretch of road. It's right next to the Marion and Sturt Road intersection, which unfortunately is Adelaide's worst intersection for car crashes. And then that section of Sturt Road leads you to Marion Shopping Centre, where there are often rear-end crashes. So we've got lots of traffic concerns for the area. Locals are really worried about that. They daily hear car crashes. And then it's part of a sports precinct where there are a lot of community sports clubs who really want the opportunity to grow and want to be able to use the open space there for their own clubs. And my view is that the council should be supporting local community sports clubs over a private for-profit operator. And then, of course, at the back of the precinct, we have Marion Tennis Club, which only a few months ago Marion Council determined to bulldoze. So they're looking for a home at the precinct as well. So that is another location, that open space where the Marion Tennis Club could go rather than an ice rink.
So you're not against the idea of an ice rink, you just don't want it there?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's purely about the location.
The council says it's assessed this and they've considered community consultation and they're looking at the traffic concerns, and planning's now in its final stages. So from what I can read of the council's response to this, they've kind of saying they've ticked all those boxes.
Yeah, I'm sure that they have satisfied themselves. But I've got over 800 signatures on a petition against the ice rink. We had 100 community members come to the rally on Saturday. And what really, whilst people had concerns about the ice rink, what really tipped people over the edge was the decision a few weeks ago for council to cut down 2 significant trees. They're over 70-year-old gum trees. They're beautiful gums. On Saturday morning, you could see the nest of a magpie in the top of the tree. They provide habitat and shade, and we all know the benefits of trees to our community. But also, council are being really inconsistent in their decision-making. You know, I've gone through many Marion Council documents, and they say many good things about their desire for a green and sustainable community. You know, they want to care for trees, and yet they've gone and made a decision to cut down 2 trees.
Sarah, I guess, I was going to say, Sarah, on the flip side is that, you know, we're looking for activities for young people to do particularly. The counter-argument is, you know, where are they going to go if they can't build the ice rink here? Is there another feasible option?
Yeah, well, I mean, I would say there are activities for young people on the site as well. There's gridiron, there's softball, there's tennis, there's football, there's cricket, there's bowls. So there are activities available for young people. You know, this was an unsolicited bid. It's not like council, you know, went out and said, this is the best place for an ice rink in our community. This just came to them. This just landed in their lap, and they're like, well, you know, we'll get 42 years worth of rent out of this, so it's good for our coffers.
But there's nothing wrong with that. That happens all the time. Private developers come and say, hey, we've got an idea, an ice rink could be good. And I understand you mentioned all those other sports that take place, but they're organised sports that parents would have to book and pay for. And, you know, I'm sure there's training and there's games for those, whereas an ice rink is just you can go on the weekend, it's a once-off birthday party type thing. So it's a different kind of activity for kids to do.
Yeah, absolutely, and that is valuable. But, you know, there are safety concerns at that location, as I've outlined. And, you know, there are other large pieces of land available in the council. You know, maybe we could look up near the Cove Sports Club. You know, there are, you know, where the BMX track is up there. You know, there are large pieces of land, you know, that are available that, you know, it could go and people could enjoy it safely.
And Sarah, just finally, where does it go to from here? How confident are you that, you know, your side of the argument will be heard and be successful?
Yeah, so it's been sitting in the development planning phase for a really long time. In fact, to even get there, the company took a really long time to come up with the fee just to get it into the planning system, and now it seems to just be sitting there. So I'm not sure where the company's at the moment, but the development application is still under assessment, and that's needed before any building consent is assessed.
Okay.
And the tree removal will be, you know, assessed as part of the planning and design code.
All right, Sarah Andrews, thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you so much.
Member for Gibson. What do you think? You in the area? You down there? Would you like to see an ice rink? 8223 0000 is the number to call.
Give us a buzz. We'd love to hear from you, or send us a text on the Duttons text line at 0448 08 1395. Time to head across to the newsroom.
The latest local, national and international news for South Australia. This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
Showers today, possibly heavy, heading for 14 degrees. With the 7 o'clock news, good morning. I'm Graham Goodings.
Make RAA approved windscreen repairer Complete Windscreens your insurer repairer of choice. Visit completewindscreens.com.au.
A man has been stabbed at Evanston Gardens this morning. Witnesses reported 2 men breaking into vehicles in Gonas Circuit before they fled the scene. The victim followed one of the men onto Seabrook Street, where he was assaulted. When police arrived, they located a 42-year-old man with stab wounds to his back. He was taken to hospital where his injuries are considered serious, but not life-threatening. 4 people have been found dead at a home in Melbourne. Madeline Burke is there.
Police have cordoned off a home here in Bicknell Court after 2 men, a woman and a teenage boy were found dead inside a home. A neighbour has told 9 News he discovered his loved ones here just before 2 this morning and he believes they have died from a drug overdose. The cause of the deaths is yet to be determined by police, but they stress at this stage the deaths are not believed to be suspicious. Heartbroken family members have started to gather outside the home.
More than 2,600 homes are without power in the Seaford area south of Adelaide. SA Power Networks crews are going to the area to restore services, but power isn't expected to be back on until around 8 a.m. Princess Anne is in a Bristol hospital with concussion and other injuries after an incident at her estate in Gloucestershire. The BBC's Daniela Relf says the 73-year-old is expected to stay in Southmead Hospital for several days as a precaution.
Clearly she is not going to be able to get back to public duties that quickly after having suffered a head injury, or I think you can probably bet that she will want to. You know, she has this reputation as being no-nonsense, hard-working, just likes to get on with things with no fuss, and this will not suit her at all. She is incredibly hard-working. She's had to postpone a number of engagements now this week. We have the Japanese royal family coming into the UK this week. She was due to be part of that tomorrow, a state banquet at Buckingham Palace. She was also due to go to Canada at the end of the week for engagements there. All of this has now been postponed while she recovers.
The state government will unveil its housing roadmap today. It's been prompted by supply not meeting demand and the housing affordability crisis. The aim is getting more homes built more quickly, with a focus north of the city. Health experts fear a surge in RSV respiratory disease cases will lead to a wave of asthma. Gabrielle Hodson has more.
In 2023, more than 128,000 Australians were reported to have RSV, but just 6 months into 2024, we're well on the way to eclipsing that at 104,000. And that's worrying health experts who've told SMH The Age the highly contagious virus is responsible for up to 22% of asthma cases in children under 5 and 27% of asthma in primary school-aged students. The virus generally causes short-term symptoms like runny noses, coughs and wheezing. For some patients it means bronchiolitis or worse.
A $20 McLaren Vale wine has won Best in Show at the Decanter World Wine Awards in London. Shingleback Wines has been recognised for its GSM blend, Red Not Classified GSM 2022. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Colours, custom design, any house, any style. Gliderol Garage Doors. Gliderol.com.au.
And here's Jace Kemp.
Thank you, Graham. Australia's World Cup hopes hang by a thread after losing to India by 24 runs. Australia needs Bangladesh to beat Afghanistan to keep its campaign alive. Aussie quick Josh Hazelwood admits the side just isn't at their best.
Got to be on your game every day that you turn up, so yeah, it's disappointing, but yeah, who knows what will happen tonight.
In the Euros, Italy has scored a last-minute equaliser against Croatia to secure its place in the knockout stages. They were on the verge of being knocked out in the group stage for the first time in 20 years before rescuing a 1-1 draw.
Calafiori rampaging here. Zaccagni! Salvation! The Azzurri reach for the skies!
Yeah, amazing stuff there. That call on Optus Sport. Meanwhile, Spain has topped the group with a 1-0 win over Albania. And finally, the AFL has instructed umpires not to pay free kicks for umpire contact unless they're certain it's intentional. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Thanks, Jace. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Lynn Andrews Real Estate, experts in commercial and residential property management. lynnandrews.com.au.
Morning there. Wet roads from rain overnight, so drive carefully on the way to work and look out for a crash at Marston South Road near Everard Avenue, causing really big delays inbound at the moment. Edwardstown at blackout affecting lights at the intersection of South Road and Cross Road, and another blackout at Seaford affecting traffic lights on Griffiths Drive and also Commercial Road near Main Street. Camera this morning to look out for Commercial Road at Seaford. Fast food shouldn't slow you down. That's why Sombrero use only the freshest ingredients, which means it doesn't just taste good, it leaves you feeling good. Sombrero, feel good mix. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
And now the 5AA forecast.
See any issue firsthand with AutoCam. Real-time video, direct to you from your Automaster's technician.
14 today with showers, possibly heavy. Tomorrow, showers 15. Thursday, showers easing 16. And Friday, a shower or two and 18. Right now, it's 9. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Some things need an emergency department, but if you're umming and ahhing on what to do, it might be more of an emergency. If you're unwell and unsure what to do, call Health Direct on 1800 022 222 and a registered nurse will help you find the best care for you. A message from the Government of South Australia.
Travel beyond ordinary with Talc and Phil Hoffman Travel. Talc's award-winning and enriching guided tours, small ship river cruises and family travel take you to all 7 continents. They have authentic experiences on and off the beaten path, exclusive access, insider perspectives, premium hotel stays and local cuisines. Whether you're exploring iconic cities, European waterways or an African safari, Talc's passion for travel ensures every detail is considered. Phil Hoffman Travel, pht.com.au.
Electricity bill! Bills shouldn't be scary. EcoVantage have supplied energy efficiency in homes for over 15 years. They can install hot water systems that use up to 80% less electricity than regular hot water systems. Help the environment while you save hundreds. And thanks to federal and SA government incentives, you could get your energy efficient hot water system supplied and installed for as little as no cost to you. Stop scary hot water bills with ecovantage.com.au.
It all started in the back shed. Maybe it started early. Or late. Either way, the Olympic Industry sale means there's no need to wait. With big savings on our entire range of SA-engineered sheds, garages, carports and verandas, you can afford to start something big, tough, or tasty in your own backyard. Start something with the Olympic Industry sale. On now.
Streaming live via the 5AA Player app on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. This is 5AA, always Adelaide.
Purchase any Hyundai until June 30 for 3 years free scheduled servicing. T's and C's apply at participating Hyundai dealers.
5AA Winter Breakfast. Stacey Lee and Tom Wren.
Bit of Nickelback there.
Yeah, why not? Get us going.
Love a bit of Nickelback on your Tuesday morning.
I was never a huge Nickelback fan. I've
Weren't
got to admit.
you?
No.
I love them.
Didn't love him.
Oh, I'm a huge fan.
We're going to have our first real disagreement then, aren't we, about music and the beds that come back on Bring Us Back from the ad breaks and the news services. 9 minutes past 7 o'clock. Stacey Lee, Tom Wren with you through until the end of the week. David and Will on a bit of a break. They'll be back in just under a fortnight. It's been a wet night. It's going to be another really wet day out there. We'd love to get how much rain you've had at your particular area. Tell us what is in your rain gauge. 8223 0000 or 0448 08 1395 is the Duttons text line. I reckon Simon Timke from the Bureau said just over 9 millimetres of rain.
Which is good because
we need it.
Every Tuesday on the afternoons program I talk to Milton Vidoulis about gardening and he says if it's less than 10 mil of rain it doesn't count for the garden. You still have to water it. So we're almost there at that threshold.
Nearly there.
So the garden doesn't need an extra water. If you're in the areas that got the rain.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Also this morning, Port fans, we want to hear from you.
Mm-hmm.
Warren Treadray is hosting the drive show, the sports show with Stephen Rowe this week while Timmy has a week off. And he's lit a fire.
He has lit a big fire. It was doing the national news on all the various Monday night football shows last night, Footy Classified in particular. Played some audio of a call, which we will play to you in the next 10 or 15 minutes, and we'd love to get your thoughts. Now, he was very outspoken about Ken Hinckley, the club, before he was elected to the board. Clearly now he's had to be a bit more restrained in his comments, but he's got an agenda, so to speak, or he's got a mandate to do things, to ask questions, and it's causing a lot of angst at the moment, so we will play that to you at just after 7:20. Right now, though, we're going to find out what was happening in the courts yesterday. It was a very, very busy day because 3 teenage boys, aged only 15 and 16, faced court yesterday and were behind bars last night. Inga Nielsen for 9 News covered the story and has been good enough to join us now. Inga, good morning to you.
Good morning, Rennie.
Tell us what happened yesterday. This is in the wake of the Marion Shopping Centre shutdown. It was a pretty chaotic day yesterday in the youth court.
Yes, absolutely, Rennie. So 3 boys, 2 aged 15 and the other 16, have all been charged with assault, affray and aggravated robbery. 2 of those teens were arrested just before midnight on Sunday night at Clovelly Park, where police seized 2 expandable batons. The third boy, aged 15, he was arrested at Morfett Vale yesterday afternoon. Now, it's alleged those 3 teenagers started a fight in the Marion Shopping Centre food court, 2 using those expandable batons, the third allegedly using a machete to threaten another group of teenagers, chasing them through the shopping centre, all over a hoodie which they were trying to steal. Now, this, as you said, Rennie, is what sent the Marion Shopping Centre into lockdown. Some customers stuck in stores for more than 2 hours, others evacuated. The full-scale response by police was criticised yesterday, saying that it was overkill, but the Premier did clap back at that, saying that, you know, it's better to do more than to not do enough. Now, as you said, those 3 boys are all behind bars for now. However, the judge is considering home detention bail for all 3 of them. That decision hasn't been made, but they will be back in court next week for that decision to be made.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if there are any restrictions put on them attending shopping centres if they do get released on bail. And so, Inga, you said the court heard that it was all over a jumper, a hoodie. Did the 2 groups know each other, or was it random, one group approaching the other to try and steal a hoodie?
Look, the police allege that both groups were known to each other. However, the 2 15-year-olds and 16-year-olds deny those allegations. The boys also deny that a machete was used. So there is some mixed messaging surrounding that, but it is understood that the 3 boys saw each other at the Oaklands Park railway station and were then followed into the shopping centre in pursuit of that hoodie. So there is some mixed messaging surrounding that. It will be interesting to see what actually comes to light.
And Inga, I'm really interested as well. It was back to business yesterday for the Marion Shopping Centre, but a lot of people staying away, still frightened to head back. Was that the sort of reaction you found yesterday?
Yes, look, I spent a lot of yesterday at the shopping centre and also speaking to shoppers who were there during the shutdown. Now, many of those are saying that they're still too traumatised to return. Look, even though no one was seriously injured, people do have the wake of the Bondi situation still in the front of their minds, and many have told me that they're still too traumatised to return. During the time that I was at the Marion Shopping Centre yesterday, there was a noticeably heavier police and security presence. Westfield is yet to formally say what is going to happen in the future or if any more security measures will be put in place, but they did release a statement to us yesterday saying that security and the safety of their staff and patrons is still of the utmost importance.
Inga, as always, comprehensive. Love your work. Look forward to your report again tonight on 9 News.
Thanks, Rennie. Thanks, Stacey.
That's Inga Nielsen there, reporter with 9 News. And Scott in Modbury has sent us a text on the Duttons text line 0448 08 1395. Morning, guys. Yes, by all means, let them stay home. Our justice system is a joke. I mean, that's the last thing any teenager needs, to stay at home, let alone being stuck at home on home detention.
And I think the Premier asked a really pertinent question yesterday, you know, where the hell were the parents when all this was happening and what's going on? And I know it's not as simple as that, you know, but goodness me, over a hoodie, you know, it just caused utter chaos.
Absolutely ridiculous. Now, there was a concerning report out from SA Police this morning when we spoke to Senior Constable Jen Cullinan about a man being stabbed at Evanston Gardens this morning. Hayden Nelson is a reporter with 7 News Adelaide and is there. Good morning, Hayden.
Morning, Tom. Morning, Stacey. At the Royal Adelaide Hospital, actually, where the victim was taken, this is a bit of a cautionary tale, actually. The 2 men were spotted breaking into cars in Evanston Gardens near Gawler North about 2:15 this morning. This Good Samaritan, who has now in fact become a victim, has chased them down the street into nearby Seabrook Street. One of the men has been involved in an altercation with this victim, or some sort of confrontation, where this 42-year-old has been stabbed in the back multiple times. Multiple paramedic crews were called up to this street in Evanston Gardens. They treated the man. He was taken straight here to the Royal Adelaide Hospital, where we understand he's in the ED at the moment. He is in a serious condition, but his injuries aren't believed to be life-threatening. Police, however, they have been on scene with the CIB as well as crime scene investigators this morning. They still haven't been able to track either of these suspects down, so this morning they still remain at large, and as I said, that man is suffering from some pretty significant stab wounds.
Goodness me, that's a horrific story, isn't it, Hayden? Like you said,
absolutely.
Trying to do the right thing and, stop these suspects and you pay, potentially the ultimate price. It's just awful.
Look, and the amount of times we hear about cars getting stolen or people stopping, we don't know the age of these people, but youth, criminals trying to take cars, trying to take keys or break into houses. Unfortunately, this has just been a really nasty turn of events in this particular case.
Well, I'm sure there'll be significant fallout from that, and you'll have that all covered tonight, Hayden, for 7 News. Thanks so much for coming on the program this morning.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Stacey.
That's Hayden Nelson with Channel 7 News. Still getting some texts about the teenagers potentially getting home detention bail. These teens allegedly involved in the Marion incident. Mark and Para Hills, home detention for the teenagers. Yep, that's hard. Pay TV, video games, social media. No, stay locked up. And this person, 3 boys having a fight, whole shopping centre shut down. Not sure if this whole incident is over-exaggerated. But then that's contrasted with Andrew's text here saying it wasn't over the top at all after what happened at Bondi. So, yeah. Yeah,
I think that was the overriding emotion, wasn't it? That, better to be safe than sorry. Given the climate, what we've been through, you'd rather we shut down and it be on the lighter end than we do nothing and then we have a repeat of what happened, several weeks ago over there in Sydney, which was just awful. Keep those text messages coming. Don't let the Duttons end of financial year deals pass you by. Find your new car at duttons.com.au. It is 0448 08 1395. We're going to check the traffic right now, Stace. It can be a bit difficult out there when the roads get slippery, and we'll do that all thanks to the new McSmart meal from Macca's. 2 burgers, small fries and a small soft drink, $6.95. That's great value. T's and C's apply.
Thanks, Tom. Wet roads from overnight showers, so take it easy on the way to work today. Look out for crash at Marston, South Road near Everard Avenue. Pretty big delays there. Edwardstown, blackout affecting lights at the intersection of South Road and Cross Road, and at Seaford, a blackout affecting lights on Griffiths Drive and also Commercial Road near Main Street. Cameras this morning, Baines Road, Woodcroft and Sheriff's Road at Morford Vale. Now's the time to get into your new Mazda with great end of financial year drive-away deals on selected models. Visit your local Mazda dealer and find yours today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
5AA Mornings with Matthew Pantelis.
Brawls between kids happen all over the place. They shouldn't, but in the heightened world of 2024, and particularly after Bondi, these things initially take on a more sinister feel. Frank Pangello, Upper House MP on the line. Youth crime, where do we go with it?
Matthew Pantelis.
Well, this is the issue now. There is a spike in youth crime around the country, and we are seeing it here.
Weekday mornings from 9 on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Companies and small business that use one solution for their IT management, cybersecurity and AI implementation are always ahead of the curve and ready for anything. One Solution is local too, a full-service technology company right here in Adelaide, offering a diverse range of solutions across IT, telecommunications, phone and mobile systems, cybersecurity and AI. Today, more than ever, it's important to safeguard your business. Do it with One Solution. onesolution.net.au, a Platinum Telstra partner.
For those whose pool is the main feature of their yard, Walco offer a special mesh cover to keep debris and leaves out, while making your pool area look stunning all through winter. Join the great cover-up and ask Walco about their stylish new mesh pool covers. walco.com.au.
Bowel cancer is Australia's second biggest cancer killer. Tragically, it claims the lives of around 100 Australians every week. However, 90% of bowel cancer cases can be successfully treated if caught early.
Preventive Health SA and Cancer Council SA urge you to get to it. If you're between the ages of 50 and 74, you'll be sent a free bowel screening test kit every 2 years. It's quick, clean, and it's an easy way to detect early signs of bowel cancer.
This free bowel screening test can detect cancer long before symptoms appear, so set a reminder to do the test or order one online.
Don't put off the chance to save your life. Go to bowelcancer.org.au and get to it.
Harvey Norman clearance on now. The latest tech priced to clear. Save up to 30% on Windows 11 computers. French door fridges on sale. Save $120 on Hisense 483 litre with ice and water, now under $1,500. Up to 40% off floor stock and X-Display, lounges, dining and outdoor furniture. Amazing value. Nebula queen size bed with 3 storage drawers, USB charger and LED lights, $1,399. Harvey Norman clearance. Best brands, best range at the best price guaranteed. Conditions apply.
At Complete Care, we're more than just a care provider, we're a family. As we celebrate our 10th year, our mission remains the same: to empower our specialised team of carers and client service managers to help people living with a disability. We provide personalised services, including cleaning and home maintenance, to social support and transportation. We look after you like family, offering a warm, caring touch that sets us apart. At Complete Care, we're the company with heart. Complete Care, with a K.
Know the news with Adelaide's 7 News. Don't miss Adelaide's leading news hour tonight at 6 o'clock.
Purchase any Hyundai until June 30 for 3 years free scheduled servicing. T's and C's apply at participating Hyundai dealers.
5AA Winter Breakfast. Stacey Lee and Tom Wren.
22 minutes past 7 o'clock on 5AA Breakfast through until 9 o'clock this morning, Tuesday the 25th of June. Hope you're enjoying the show. We've got plenty more coming up. But Stacey, right now we're going to talk some sport. No Timmy Ginniver this week. Warren Tredrea is on the show with Stephen Rowe, and it was a lot of controversy that came as a result of the show last night on all the various football TV shows. They go through the analysis of what happened on the weekend, and one of the big talking points has been Port Adelaide. They were belted by 79 points against Brisbane, 3 losses in a row. Pressure on the club, pressure on the coach.
It?
Yeah, I know, it's a bit like that, isn't it? But a lot of pressure and a lot of angry supporters out there. A lot of people saying, time for change. Last night there was a caller that rung into the sports show with Rowie and Treaders. Let's have a listen to what he had to say and what has caused such a huge issue within the football world.
Hello, Jess. How are you?
Okay, he said he had the list. He sold our top future draft picks to get the list. Now he has. Now he says he doesn't have it. Every year for the last 4, he talks it up big time and then changes his message. It's the same con job. He's a con artist, right? Secondly, you said it was untenable last year, Warren. You were right. The board made the wrong decision made last year. It is even more untenable now. We can't waste this crop of talented youngsters. And my third point, the club is going to suffer financially if something is not done. Now every person on the board would know that. So what are we waiting for? Worrying about Koshi's pride being damaged, admitting he made a mistake. This is about the club, not him. Ken needs to push. He's delusional right now. Give Carr an audition and see if he can turn this around and open it up at the end of the year.
Good call. Good call.
Now it's that good call at the end, which you just heard right there, where he's, accused Ken of being a con artist and that they should get rid of Ken Hinckley, bring in Josh Carr. That has a lot of poor people on the inner sanctum extremely upset because you've now got your board at odds publicly and causing huge division.
There were some strong words there used by Jess. Con artist, untenable, delusional. And then I guess for a board member to come off the back and say, good call. Now, it's only 2 words, but they carry weight. And
he did move to clarify those comments later in the show. But this is the way I see it, Stacey. So Treaders clearly wanted to get on the board. He wanted a voice, and he does represent a portion of the membership who have been very unhappy with the performance of the club, and in particular Ken, for some time. Now, those members that have had him elected, they want his support now. They want him to follow through. Now, we've seen instances of this in the past with other significant media figures being on the boards or being in very senior positions. We've got one here in Adelaide that works at a rival radio station, Mark Rasciuto, James Brayshaw, Eddie McGuire. They've all had to delicately tiptoe their way through these issues in the past. But I think this one's probably more divisive because there was, a mandate, or he was so outspoken before he went on the board to now that he's in there. There was clearly a reason why he was put in there. The tricky thing is, not everyone at the football club thinks about it the way that he does and doesn't want the conflict. And certainly there is an expectation that if you work for a club, you should be loyal and back your club as a united front publicly. But who do you work for? Do you work for the club?
Well, the members are the ones that are elected him.
Or do you work for the members that elected you? So this is the tricky part for Treaders.
And just because you work for a club or a company doesn't mean you have to agree with every decision that club or company makes.
Exactly. So it's really delicate. It's tough.
Oh,
it's tough.
I without knowing the ins and outs of footy club boards, I look at these. I've got my political analyst hat on,
and you do that extremely well.
Oh, thank you. I see it as: is this like a cabinet member coming out and someone saying, "Get rid of the premier. He needs to go," and the cabinet member going, "Yeah, good call." I mean,
it's not.
It wouldn't be appropriate in other circumstances, but you're right. There's these 2 competing issues here for someone like Treaders, who was elected by the members and
to make change.
To make change, and he's high profile in his views before he became a board member.
Absolutely,
so that's a really tough line to toe now.
And he's got cred and all of that.
Yeah,
I mean, he's the premiership captain.
To get elected by the members based on your views prior to, and then obviously you've got to water it down because you're on the board. But is that okay according to the members? Let us know. 8223 0000 is the number to call, or send us a text 0448 08 13 95. This person says, good morning, Bruce Abernathy was scathing as well. He's a former board member, 2 great footballers.
Well, and Bruce Abernathy, of course, went up against Warren Tredrea for this recent board position, and it was Tredrea who won out. It was quite a close vote, but he did win. And Bruce he was very strong on the weekend as well, and said it was unacceptable and not good enough. I think most people have said that, but I think because Warren is on the board, and those comments, like you said, were particularly harsh and particularly strong towards Ken Hinckley.
Con artist, untenable, delusional. This is a really interesting text from Helen. Morning, you can't serve 2 masters. I think that's a really good point. You cannot serve 2 masters.
And look, that was the accusation of, I mentioned some of those other figures. I mean, Mark Rasciuto has done it for some time, and it's been difficult for him at times, and I don't want to speak for him specifically, but definitely for Eddie McGuire, James Brayshaw, it does become really hard. Very hard at times.
Treaders is
to walk through it, and he's walking that at the moment.
I'm sure, working that out, working through it. And he'll be on the sports show this afternoon with Rowie from 4, so it'll be fascinating to tune in and see what the fallout is. But we want to get your calls this morning.
Yeah, we'd love to get your thoughts. Give us a buzz or send us a text message on the Duttons text line. You can do that, 08448 08 1395.
Need a forklift? Don't just get a forklift, get a Toyota forklift. Toyota is the world's #1 forklift brand, with a great range of pallet jacks, walkie stackers and reach forklifts, right up to their leading Toyota counterbalance forklifts. Legendary reliability and safety with cleaner, greener electric options, Toyota can tailor the right forklift solution for you. It's all part of the Toyota forklift advantage. For more, visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au. a Toyota forklift.
Come on in.
We open our doors to people we trust and care about. And for over 85 years, South Australians have been opening their doors to Rest Haven. In turn, we've been opening doors to an easier, better life at home. From personal care to help with the shopping and social outings, you'll welcome the care that Rest Haven brings.
Have you got your tickets yet? Just 3 days to go for 2 chances to live mortgage-free in Henley Beach. Only 3 days to buy your tickets in the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery, giving you 2 chances to live the dream mortgage-free in a fully furnished Scott Salisbury home with a bonus $100,000 in your pocket. The absolute final deadline is midnight Friday. Life-changing prizes, life-changing impact. HomeLottery.com.au. Licence M14548.
This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
Heading for 14 today with showers, possibly heavy at times. With the 7:30 News, I'm Graham Goodings.
Chipped windscreen? RAA approved repairer Complete Windscreens repairs it from just $99. Find the big red koala.
A Good Samaritan's in hospital after a stabbing at Evanston Gardens this morning. Just after 2:15, he spotted 2 men trying to break into cars in Gonis Circuit. Hayden Nelson from 7 News says he chased them onto Seabrook Street.
One of the men has been involved in an altercation with this victim, or some sort of confrontation, where this 42-year-old has been stabbed in the back multiple times. Multiple paramedic crews were called. They treated the man. He was taken straight here to the Royal Adelaide Hospital, where we understand he's in the ED at the moment. He is in a serious condition, but his injuries aren't believed to be life-threatening.
The offenders fled the scene and haven't been found. A man's died after a crash in the state's far north yesterday. Senior Constable Jen Cullinan says a car hit a tree at Kootaburra, about 50 kilometres north of Port Augusta.
Sadly, the rear-seated passenger, 63-year-old man from Victoria, died at the scene. Major crash investigators did attend from Adelaide, and following their investigations, they've arrested the driver of that vehicle, a 61-year-old woman. She's been charged with causing death by dangerous driving. She's been refused police bail, and she's going to go to the Port Augusta Magistrates Court this morning.
4 people have been found dead in a home in Melbourne. Neighbour and uncle of one of the deceased, Corey, made the grim discovery when he came home just before 2 this morning. 2 men, a woman and a teenage boy were found dead. Corey telling Today he believes it may have been a drug overdose.
I think an overdose, but I'm not too sure exactly. I found him and it's tortured me. It's really got to me.
Princess Anne is in hospital after suffering a head injury on her country estate. UK correspondent Brett McLeod.
Buckingham Palace says the Princess Royal sustained minor injuries and concussion following an incident at her Gatcombe Park estate. It's understood the Princess was walking on the grounds when an incident left her with the head wounds. The Palace says the cause is unconfirmed, but because horses were nearby, she may have been struck by a horse's head or legs. The 73-year-old was treated at the scene before being taken to hospital for tests, accompanied by her husband. She remains in hospital, the Palace says, as a precautionary measure for observation and is expected to stay there for a few more days to make a full and swift recovery.
Power has been restored to almost 2,500 homes in the Seaford area south of Adelaide. SA Power Networks crews are working to restore power to another 124 homes in the area and another 48 at Smithfield Plains. New polling has found the number of Australians betting on sport has doubled in 5 years. It also found a third of spending on bets is placed by people with a gambling problem. The Reverend Tim Costello from the Alliance for Gambling Reform says it's Australia's dirty secret.
We have not only the greatest gambling losses in the world, 40% higher than the nation that's second, but when it comes to sports betting, online gambling, 20% higher than the nation that comes second. So I often say America's blind spot is guns, Australia's is gambling.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderol Garage Doors, adding strength, style and safety to your home. Gliderol.com.au.
And here's Jace Kemp.
Thank you, Graham. Port Adelaide assistant coach Tyson Goldsack believes the Power does have enough talent to reach the finals this season. The side has come under fire after its drubbing to the Lions, but Goldsack has told the 5AA Sports Show they've got the right list to turn it around.
I think we've got talent there. I think we've got the talent there as long as we're playing a brand of footy together. That's going to be competitive.
Italy has scored a last-minute equaliser against Croatia to keep its Euros campaign alive. The 1-1 result knocks Croatia out of the tournament, while Spain has topped the group with a 1-0 win over Albania. To tennis, and Ayla Tomljanovic, she's playing herself into form ahead of Wimbledon. The Aussie finished runner-up at the Birmingham Classic and says she's happy to slowly work her way back up the rankings.
Considering how my past 18 months have looked, I think that there's a lot I can still improve on, but the great thing is this whole week I've managed to find ways to win even when my back was against the wall.
The Aussies have lost to India by 24 runs at the T20 World Cup. They now need Bangladesh to beat Afghanistan to advance to the semi-finals. And finally, New South Wales will train at the MCG today ahead of tomorrow's State of Origin showdown with Queensland. And that's the 5AA Sports.
Thanks, Jace. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Lynn Andrews Real Estate, experts in commercial and residential property management. lynnandrews.com.au.
Morning there. Wet roads will be greeting you for the drive-in today after overnight showers, so take it nice and easy. Look out for crash at Ashford this morning, South Road near Everard Avenue. Pretty solid delays there. Lights on the blink due to a blackout at Edwardstown, or right in the smack bang intersection of Cross Road and South Road, so she's slow there. And also a blackout at Seaford affecting lights on Commercial Road and Griffiths Drive. Cameras Trimmer Parade Season and Valletta Road at Fulham Gardens. Get 12 months free roadside assistance at UltraTune when you get a logbook car serviced by the CanStar award-winning team at UltraTune. Call or search UltraTune today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
And now the 5AA forecast.
See any issue firsthand with AutoCam. Real-time video, direct to you from your Automasters technician.
14 today with showers, possibly heavy at times. Tomorrow showers 15. Thursday showers easing 16. Friday a shower or 2 and 18. Right now it's just 9. More news as it happens on 5AA.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
Autism is a word we hear a lot more now, but not many people know what it means. Autism Works is a public education campaign that champions autism inclusion in the South Australian workforce. The state government now has dedicated resources available online for businesses wanting to create more inclusive work environments and to help autistic individuals that are seeking employment. To download these resources and hear success stories from autistic individuals, head to the website autismworks.sa.gov.au. A message from the Government of South Australia.
At MYOB, we're the OG at making tax time easy. From automating admin to pinging payment reminders for you, MYOB has everything in one place to make sure you're always ready. Because nothing beats the OG at tax time.
Purchase any Hyundai until June 30 for 3 years free scheduled servicing. T's and C's apply at participating Hyundai dealers.
5AA Winter Breakfast. Stacey Lee and Tom Wren.
Just past the halfway point on 5AA Breakfast this morning, 22 minutes to 8 o'clock on this Tuesday, the 25th of June. We've had a lot of feedback about the issue we just spoke about, the Warren Treadray comments last night, and the reaction, I suppose, from various football pundits and experts in the competition. What's going to happen at Port Adelaide with the coach, Ken Hinkley, etc., etc. Debbie from Semaphore has called in and wants to have a chat to us. Hello there, Debbie.
Hi, how you going? Love Stacey, love you, Tom, but do miss Dave and Will.
Oh, that's all right. We do too, Debbie.
They'll be back in a couple of weeks.
I just was just bringing up to say about, you said about, toning it down and all that, like with the board member talking about. So I'm not poor. I'm not Cries of Melbourne. Is it Rad? Is that his name? Is it Rad?
Treadray, Warren Treadray.
Oh, Treadray. Raddy? Did they call him Raddy?
Treaders.
Treaders.
Treaders, sorry. Hence people probably going, get off. Sorry, I think that, no, he kind of shouldn't tone it down. He was elected by the members to have his say. I understand you've got to be respectful and PC, but that's the problem with, I think, in a lot of jobs and stuff. You're telling what the boss wants to hear and nothing gets done. Nothing gets fixed. I don't think he should tone it down. I think he should be still passionate, but respectful. It's not to agree to disagree. I don't like that because nothing gets solved. but not like you've got to have a fisticuff to get to an answer. But, I don't think you should tone it down. It should be more passionate.
Don't mind it. I'll tell you what, it's great radio anyway.
More passion. We all need more passion, Debbie. Love it. Thank you for the call. 8223 0000 is the number to call to have your say. What did you think about Treader's comments on the sports show yesterday? He did go on to clarify.
He did.
When he said good call, he meant it was a good call by a listener, not that he agreed with the statement.
With the points that were being made.
Mhm.
Exactly, and that is important to note. So he did make that clarification. But, so, the argument is, and the snapshot and the snippet that's been used is obviously been very critical of the fact that he said good call immediately after those points were made initially.
Yep.
So, it's causing a lot of friction out there at the moment, and I'm sure there are a lot of phone calls happening off air and behind closed doors at the moment.
Yeah. It'll be fascinating to listen to the sports show this afternoon. Rowie and Warren Treadray on the Savo because Timmy's off at the moment. Let's talk federal politics now. We'll shift gears for a minute. Phil Curry is the political editor of the Fin Review and joins you now. Morning, Phil.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Oh, cold, freezing, horrible. Listening to all the noise coming out of Adelaide about the football.
Yeah.
Both teams in a bit of strife, aren't they?
Massively. Very good for you. Sad state of affairs over here, though, Phil.
No. Anyway, only one way up.
Well, an interesting state of affairs at Parliament House yesterday. I would love to see the reaction of the press gallery when the Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, and Chris Bowen, the Energy Minister, walked out with former New South Wales Liberal Treasurer and appointed him to a pretty high-profile appointment with the Climate Council. Phil. Were there jaws on the floor?
It wasn't just the press gallery. I think it was more the bigger reaction came from within the Liberal Party. So to your listeners, the fellow Matt Keane, he was until about a year ago the Treasurer and Energy Minister in the New South Wales Liberal government under Gladys Berejiklian and then Dominic Perrottet, and they lost the election. He's actually still in the Parliament. He's still a sitting Liberal MP. He announced last week he was resigning, but he actually hadn't resigned, so he's still effectively a Liberal MP, and we're sort of locked in this pitch battle at the moment, as your listeners would know, over nuclear power versus renewables. And Keane is and always has been a very strong advocate for renewable energy. He's quite a moderate Liberal. So they trundled him out yesterday and said this is the next head of the Climate Change Authority, and the Climate Change Authority is the advisory body to the government on climate policy. So it was seen, and then the first thing he did was sort of bag nuclear power as too unaffordable and would take too long. So it didn't go down very well amongst not his former colleagues, but still his current colleagues. But then, sort of words such as treachery and rat were being thrown around and things like that. I don't know what it will have in a broader impact, but the government was clearly sort of pleased with itself that they'd got a fairly high-profile Liberal and listed him to the cause.
It is expert trolling, isn't it? I saw a couple of tweets going around yesterday. I just think it's fabulous political play here to get a former state Liberal Treasurer on.
You've got to be a bit careful, though, because, these things can be so clever, they just seem to be cynical, so they don't sort of work. But
that's
anyway,
the best bit.
Yeah, it is. Well, it is, yes. Anyway, but that was that.
Phil, what about the Leader of the Opposition, Peter Dutton? Where to now? A really tricky and messy family matter that's made its way to the public.
Yeah, so the tabloids have got some story, a white powder picture or something. Look, I don't think anyone's going to jump on it much. I mean, it's just such a hard thing, as any parent would know. Your kids get to a certain age and start dabbling in things they shouldn't dabble in, and in the modern era with mobile phones and cameras, it's just so easy to get pinged. And if your dad or your mum is someone prominent, then this is what happens. We see it with footy players all the time. AFL, rugby league, everything else, and politicians' kids. It's sad. I don't think anyone's going to make much of it. Everyone around here, I think, especially the politicians, because they'll think it could be me. And it's hard on politics is very hard on families because the parent is absent a lot of the time. So you often see these sorts of problems manifested more in political families. So I think it'll be sort of seen as off limits. Well, it definitely will be, I think, regarded as off limits in the political discourse as Parliament sits this week and next week, and I wouldn't be surprised if Albanese's contacted Dutton and assured him of that. I don't know that for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case.
Yeah, sure.
It's something you deal with at a family level, and it's not a public thing.
Yeah. Kids are off limits, I would assume.
Now, Phil, have you blocked out September, Carlton? I have not said that about the Blues for 20 years, but they've got the big boy shorts on.
Yeah, look, lid's off. I was watching the game the other night, and my daughter, she's 14, and she's right on board. And I said, we were demolishing Geelong, and I said, seriously, the last time we played this good, I was your age, in about 1980, and that's the only comparison I could think of when we were that complete. No, it was great to watch, and I'd love to get Sydney on the MCG and tear them apart. I think we could. So I'm feeling up and about. It's very good.
Phil, you've done well to get her on board, because she's had no success, and usually kids jump off and go, I'm going for a team that actually wins.
This was a problem when she was a young kid, as you know, and I just said, no, stick fat, they'll come good, and I didn't think it'd be this quick, but no, it's terrific. It's so to Crows and Port fans, it does change. It just even when there's no hope on the horizon, there is. Take it from a Carlton fan.
Yeah. Oh well, Phil, we love your work for the financial review. Thanks so much for coming on again with us this week.
Anytime, guys. Bye-bye.
Great stuff. The political editor there of the Fin Review, Phil Curry, joining us. And, I think that's probably the right decision, isn't it, with the leader of the opposition and his 18-year-old son that's been...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like you said a little earlier, with the mobile phones, and, I think I've got a stepson who's 18 years of age as well, and if something like that came out... And I know, it's politics and it's brutal and all of that, but it's really tough when it comes to family members. I think you're fair game, but immediate members and particularly...
Absolutely. I could not agree more. I think it's a cautionary tale, and it's more of a, it's more for young people and social media, the messaging here, but that's not for anyone else to teach Peter Dutton's son, except for Peter Dutton and his wife, and that's for them to deal with privately, and kids should be off limits. So there's a lot on the table in politics. Family is not one of them.
Yeah, I agree, absolutely. Coming up to 13 minutes to 8 o'clock, got to check out what is happening on the roads, all thanks to the new McSmart meal from Macca's. 2 burgers, small fries and a small soft drink. $6.95 is what you'll pay. T's and C's apply.
Thanks, Tom. Damp roads on the drive-in after overnight showers, and a crash at Marston to look out for this morning. South Road near Everard Avenue. Pretty big delays inbound at the moment. Smart O'Para West truck has hit a Stobie pole on Curtis Road at Peachy Road. Got the power out there, and a blackout affecting lights at Edwardstown. Smack bang in the intersection of South Road and Cross Road. Not the best intersection for that to happen. Look out for cameras today. Baines Road, Woodcroft and May Terrace at Lookleys. Dry July starts soon. Go dry this July to raise funds to improve the comforts and care of people affected by cancer. Sign up today at dryjuly.com. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
What's the quickest and most affordable way to add noticeable value and street appeal to your home? Easy. Fresh Front it. Fresh Front is Adelaide's #1 rated pressure cleaning company, making tired homes and businesses look new again. Pressure and soft washing your entire home, driveway, pavers, retaining walls and windows. Fresh Front do it all with care and expertise, plus a money-back satisfaction guarantee. Ask now for special winter rates. Visit freshfront.com.au. Looks like new.
Over 60,000 Adelaide homes have said yes to saving money on their energy bills with Yes, your energy saving solutions. What's keeping you? Did you know that you might be eligible for a rebate on a new appliance like a dryer or fridge? You might even qualify for a purchase you've already made. Just visit the Yes website for a list of appliances and the size of the cashback available. For T's and C's on this unbeatable offer from your energy saving solutions, go to yes.net.au. That's yes.net.au.
The biggest threat to your business isn't your competition. It's cybercrime. Cybercrime threats impacting Australian businesses large and small continues to grow year on year. One call to one solution will put your business in a safe place and save you from the devastating consequences of cybercrime. It's the smartest, most cost-effective business decision you'll ever make. Stay safe and protected. Get in touch with One Solution. onesolution.net.au, a Platinum Telstra partner.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide Tech Guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
You don't need to be a tech expert to know that technology is now part of everything we do.
AI, or artificial intelligence, is the next big game changer. It doesn't just make things easier or predict what's next. It can truly transform your daily life. It handles the little things so you can focus on what really matters. You'll find plenty of AI inside the latest Microsoft Surface Pro. It's the fastest and smartest Surface Pro ever, thanks to their AI called Copilot. The Surface Pro features a 13-inch touchscreen, ample memory, all-day battery life, seamless graphics, and AI-enhanced capabilities to supercharge your workflow. Experience the best combination of Copilot and PC with the Surface Pro. Prices start from $1,899 at Harvey Norman.
Check out this great offer at a Harvey Norman store near you. Purchase any Hyundai until June 30 for 3 years free scheduled servicing. T's and C's apply at participating Hyundai dealers.
5AA Winter Breakfast. Stacey Lee and Tom Wren.
10 minutes to 8 o'clock on 5AA Breakfast. Stacey Lee, Tom Wren with you. Stace, we're getting lots of feedback on the Duttons text line this morning regarding a few issues we've been speaking about.
Yeah, absolutely. 0448 08 1395. Huge number of text messages coming in on Warren Treadray's comments on the sports show yesterday afternoon. This text from Brett. Gus Gould is a football manager at the Canterbury Bulldogs and he also works for Channel 9 as a commentator. He's criticised the NRL referees and the bunker as a Nine employee. He's also been fined by the NRL before. Like Treaders, to my mind, they're two separate jobs and they're paid to do that and make comment in the media.
And I think that's fair enough. I think with Russell, though, if he's having a crack at the NRL and if Treader's at the AFL, it wouldn't be as controversial. But when it's a matter involving your own club, I think that's when it can become tricky.
This text as well from Rob. Funny when people who are paid to give an opinion and we want to listen to different opinions, then when they actually give one, the whole world erupts saying, why'd you say that?
Yeah.
The board can't just live in its own bubble. They need to hear different views.
And here on AA, we love it. I mean, that's what we want. It's eliciting debate and thought, and that's what it's all about. But clearly, the club's working through some fairly delicate issues at the moment, and there's a win-loss, and there's a season to try and salvage, and there's people's careers at stake. So there's all of that.
And this is the thing, because out here in the real world, most port members are fed up with it. And if Treaders is their voice in the boardroom...
And like I said, that's why they elected him, or the majority elected him because they wanted something to change. But then he's on the board for the club, but does he represent the club or the members that elected him? It's really tricky. I mean, to be a fly on the wall at those board meetings. Some people have texted in as well saying, how many people on the board? I think it's a 9-member board. So he's not the only one.
No, but aren't only two of them member elect?
Yeah, so this is another argument that too many boards, and not just Port Adelaide, but too many boards within the AFL don't have enough member-elected positions. That is one criticism that has been levelled at all clubs, and that too many of them are AFL elect or, within club sanctuaries, etc. Graham Goodings, for example, is a member-elected board member, and he reads here on 5AA and does a brilliant job. He is member-elected, but I think he's one of maybe two.
At the Crows.
At the Crows.
And this is something that Sarah Game actually brought up, One Nation MP in Parliament last week, which I thought was fascinating because we often do see politics and sport intersect.
Of course.
And she brought up the idea that the South Australian football clubs are too influenced by Melbourne because of all those AFL elected board members and only two member-elect members on each of the boards.
So saying people are compromised by their views because, there's an AFL link, so to speak.
Yeah, and I think there'd be a lot of views on that as well. So get on the phone, let us know what you think. 8223 0000 is the number to call. We love to hear your views, any of them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a fascinating discussion, and we'll keep it going in the sports show, of course, tonight with Stephen Rowe and Warren Treadray. There'll be plenty more talk, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Are we happy, Stacey?
I'm pretty happy.
I'm pretty happy. I think we're both pretty happy.
You're a happy guy.
Yeah, most of the time. But there has been a survey of the top 250 happiest cities in the world. It's been revealed, and 5 Australian locations made the list. Adelaide, though, didn't rank.
We're not even on there.
Not even on there.
I'm
not
pretty
make
angry
it.
about this, actually.
You're not so happy
So
now.
I'm not happy anymore. Dr. Marnie Lishman is a psychologist who's here to talk all about it. Dr. Lishman, I'm pretty angry now, so maybe that's why we're not on the happy list.
No, exactly. It's not made you happy at all, that scoring, has it?
This is a study done by the Institute of Quality of Life, and they rate cities all around the world on a happiness index. How do you work out if people are happy or not?
I know, it's an interesting one, isn't it? But I think, a lot of countries probably are quite offended this week as a result of that. But I think, happiness is really subjective, isn't it? And I think even the researchers actually say, what makes one person happy will not make another citizen happy. So it is very subjective. But I think when you think about what makes people happy, it's really about quality of life, isn't it? It's about being social. It's about safety and security. And I think it's about well-being as well. So I think, they look at all those factors, don't they? And even including, just economic opportunities and the environment and things like that. And it always seems like the Northern Hemisphere cities are doing quite well in those areas.
That is strange to me because everybody here in Adelaide, Australia, and you hear of it happening around the world too, but we're all grappling with the cost of living crisis at the moment. And countries in the Northern Hemisphere, particularly Europe and Scandinavia, are famously expensive, but on this index at least, and on most of the happiness index or, world's best cities to live in and other rating systems, they rate quite highly. So how do we reconcile that?
Yeah, exactly. And I think one of the big ones when they were looking at it were about, their culture, historic sites, things like the social aspect was very important. And I think when you think about human beings, look at the loneliness epidemic at the moment. It is massive globally. So they're looking at cities that, elicit a connection with their people. And I think, getting out and about was another one. So having that availability for connection with their citizens, as well as the environmental quality. So I don't know whether, Australia, if we kind of reflect on the city that we live in, what's going on there? Do we need to do better in those areas?
You make a great point about it being subjective. We're talking to Dr. Marnie Leishman, psychologist. We're talking happiest cities after a survey came out. For me personally, I'm pretty happy, and Stacey, made light of it a little bit earlier, but we've got tennis, we've got live, we've got gather round, the Adelaide 500, day-night cricket's back. Sport's obviously really important to me, Doctor, but it is a state of mind. How can we be happier if people in our lives, it's an easier thing said than done, but how can we change that mental state so we can potentially have a better outlook on life?
Exactly. It really varies widely for each individual. So it is up to us, I think, to firstly, put that oxygen mask on first, don't we, before we even connect to our fellow human beings, is actually to say to yourself, what do I need to be at least content? Because I think that's really important. And it will often come down to, positive relationships, so connecting with your family and friends and your partner and linking in with them on purpose, making sure that you do activities in your life that personally fulfill you. So making sure that you engage in activities that align with who you truly are, and that might mean meaningful work, it might mean volunteering with people or doing creative activities that you enjoy and you're responsible for that. And of course, looking after your physical and your mental well-being is very important. That means getting lots of sleep, managing your stress and things like that. Once you have that oxygen mask on, then you're your best self, aren't you? And then that's when we can reach out to other people and support them in being as content as they can possibly be as well.
It's great food for thought. Doctor, thanks so much for sharing your insights this morning. You sound like a very happy person. And
I'm pretty happy.
You sound like it as well. So thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Great stuff. That was Dr. Marnie Lishman. And just for those wondering, Aarhus in Denmark was voted as the happiest city in the world. You spoke about those European and Scandinavian countries. Switzerland's Zurich was second and Germany's Berlin was third. Brisbane was the highest ranked Australian city ranked at 21. Then the other Australian cities, Melbourne at 41. See, I think we're happier than Melbourne. I was there during some lockdowns over there and they were very unhappy.
So dark and drab and grey and black. Everyone wears black in Melbourne? Where's their colour?
We've got the weather as opposed to them.
Have some brightness in your life.
Perth 61, Hobart 87 and Sydney fell out of the top 100 to sit in the bronze section at 116. We're going to take a short break, head across to the newsroom, Stacey, but plenty more coming up after 8 o'clock as well. We've got a breaking at 8 as well.
Breaking at 8. A new announcement, which maybe isn't so new.
Looking forward to that just after 8 o'clock.
The critical part of any healthcare is the care. It's about being by your side when you and your loved ones need us most. Through late night fevers, through the rough and tumble of weekend sports, through weird rashes, mystery aches, and knowing in your heart that something's not quite right. From surgery to rehabilitation. Through emergencies, mental illness, chronic diseases, and for better health. Your doctor cares. Let's take care of them too. Authorised by Dr. David Pope, Samoa, Adelaide.
G'day everyone, Cornsey here. Now I know a great team when I see one, and the South Australian hydraulic team I rate the highest is BL Shipway. The Shipway team are the best in the business. They've been looking after your hydraulic and pneumatic needs since 1953 with brands like Ryco, Rexroth, Enerpac, Hydac, Oilpath, EasyFit and many more. If you can't get to them, they'll send a Ryco 24/7 van to you anytime, anywhere. blshipway.com.au, a South Australian team you can count on.
Could you go 31 days without alcohol? Go dry this July and help raise funds for people affected by cancer. It's a small sacrifice to show your support. This is why we Dry July. Sign up today at dryjuly.com.
The news and information that matters. This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
Showers today, possibly heavy, heading for 14 degrees. With the 8 o'clock news, good morning. I'm Graham Goodings.
Make RAA-approved windscreen repairer, Complete Windscreens, your insurer repairer of choice. Visit completewindscreens.com.au.
A man's in hospital with serious stab wounds after confronting two men breaking into cars in Evanston Gardens overnight. Hayden Nelson from 7 News says the 42-year-old chased them onto Seabrook Street, where he was stabbed multiple times in the back.
Police have been on scene with the CIB as well as crime scene investigators this morning. They still haven't been able to track either of these suspects down, so this morning they still remain at large. And as I said, that man is suffering from some pretty significant stab wounds.
A woman's been arrested following a fatal crash at Kootaburra yesterday. Her car left the Stewart Highway and hit a tree about 50 kilometres north of Port Augusta. The backseat passenger, a 63-year-old man from Victoria, died at the scene. The driver and two other occupants were taken to hospital with minor injuries. Following investigations, the driver, a 61-year-old woman, has been charged with causing death by dangerous driving. She'll face court today. Police detectives and forensics have arrived at a home in Melbourne's north where 4 bodies were found early this morning. Madeline Burke is at Broadmeadows.
The uncle of a 17-year-old boy says he knocked on the door of a unit here in Bicknell Court just before 2 this morning. Corey's nephew and brother-in-law had been visiting neighbours, a man and a woman, and when nobody answered the door, he smashed his way into the unit, finding 4 people dead inside from what he believes to be a drug overdose. Forensic officers have entered the property now and are speaking with distressed family members. Police here have not shared details of the cause of the deaths, only saying that they are not believed to be suspicious.
Princess Anne is in hospital with a minor head injury after an incident at her estate in Gloucestershire. Buckingham Palace says the Princess Royal has suffered a concussion. The 73-year-old remains in Southmead Hospital as a precautionary measure. She's expected to make a full and swift recovery. The state government will unveil its housing roadmap today. It's been prompted by supply not meeting demand and the housing affordability crisis. The aim is getting more homes built more quickly, with a focus north of the city. Health experts fear a surge of RSV respiratory disease cases will lead to a wave of asthma. Gabrielle Hodson has more.
In 2023, more than 128,000 Australians were reported to have RSV, but just 6 months into 2024, we're well on the way to eclipsing that at 104,000. And that's worrying health experts who've told SMH The Age the highly contagious virus is responsible for up to 22% of asthma cases in children under 5 and 27% of asthma in primary school age students. The virus generally causes short-term symptoms like runny noses, coughs and wheezing. For some patients it means bronchiolitis or worse.
Meantime, there are fresh calls to ensure older Australians are protected from COVID-19 following concerns about low vaccination rates. All Australians aged 75 and over are recommended to receive a COVID vaccine every 6 months, while those aged 65 to 74 should receive a dose at least every 12 months. Critically, older Australians no longer have to wait 6 months from their last infection to receive their next booster. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Colours, custom design, any house, any style. Gliderol Garage Doors. Gliderol.com.au.
And good morning, Jace Kemp.
Good morning to you, Graham. We'll start with footy. And Port Adelaide assistant coach Josh Carr has denied a succession plan is locked in behind closed doors. It comes after deafening calls from members to sack Ken Hinkley as coach.
I'm comfortable with where I'm at right now. I don't expect to walk into anything. What I do know is I've got to work really hard at what I'm doing right now.
Meantime, the Crows could again be without Taylor Walker for its match with GWS. Assistant coach Scott Burns says Walker is still struggling with a sore back.
Really reluctant though to say he's going to be right, because it's just a hard thing with a back at any time, but especially when we're a little bit older, it's very much a day by day. We thought he'd only miss a week, and we definitely gave him a little bit more time to get over this one, so we just need him to make sure he's got his power back and he's fresh and he's ready to go whenever that is.
Australia is on the brink of being knocked out of the T20 World Cup after a 24-run loss to India. Rohit Sharma smashed 92, helping India to a total of 205. Captain Mitch Marsh says they're now hoping Bangladesh beat Afghanistan to keep its campaign alive.
I think in a run chase like that, chasing 200, if you can keep it at 10 for as long as you possibly can, you're well and truly in the game these days. And you know, India had some class bowlers at the end that were too good for us.
Have you ever wished Bangladesh to win a game more strongly than you would tonight?
Come on, Bangladesh.
Croatia has been knocked out of the Euros in heartbreaking fashion after Italy equalised with 30 seconds left in their final group game. Well, finally, Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final starts in a couple of hours between the Edmonton Oilers and the Florida Panthers. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Lynn Andrews Real Estate. Experts in commercial and residential property management. lynnandrews.com.au.
G'day there at Power Hills West. Truck has hit a Stobie pole there. The power is out and the lights are on the blink. Curtis Road at Peachy Road, pretty slow going through there at the moment. At Ashford, got a smash to look out for today. South Road near Everard Avenue, some pretty solid delays. And lights on the blink at Edwardstown, smack bang in the intersection of South Road and Cross Road. Cameras, Commercial Road, Seafood and May Terrace at Lockleys. Get 12 months free roadside assistance at UltraTune when you get a logbook car service by the CanStar award-winning team at UltraTune. Call or search UltraTune today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
And now the 5AA forecast.
See any issue firsthand with AutoCam. Real-time video, direct to you from your Automasters technician.
14 with showers today, possibly heavy. Tomorrow showers 15, Thursday 16 with showers easing, and Friday a shower or 2 and 18. Currently in Adelaide it's 10. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Guessing your pick from a deck of cards is tricky. Awkward social situations, also tricky. Finding the perfect Volkswagen? Easy at Mawson Lakes Volkswagen's end of financial year sale. You can get first pick on a massive range of new and demo Volkswagens available for delivery right now. Loads of colours, loads of options, on-site finance and next day servicing. Easy, just get in before June 30. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, just a short drive from the city.
If you need to fix your pipes, call Precise. Call Precise. If your toilet's blocking up, call Precise. Call Precise. If your lights aren't turning on, or your hot water is gone, or a plumber or electrician, call Precise. Precise.
Precise Plumbing and Electrical. Call 1300 700 200. That's 1300 700 200. Precise Plumbing and Electrical. Local and experienced trade specialists.
Or a plumber or electrician, call Precise. Call Precise.
Streaming live via the 5AA Player app on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. This is 5AA, always Adelaide.
Purchase any Hyundai until June 30 for 3 years free scheduled servicing. T's and C's apply at participating Hyundai dealers.
5AA Winter Breakfast. Stacey Lee and Tom Wren.
An hour to go here on 5AA Breakfast. Stacey Lee and Tom Wren with you. Hope you're having a great start to your morning. A little bit of sunshine out there. We are forecast to get quite a bit of rain today, Stacey, up to 25 millimetres, as we just heard with Graham Goodings in the newsroom. It is 9 minutes past 8 o'clock, and we've got a very special guest on with us right now.
Is it? Am I up late? Is it the wrong time of day? What's going on?
It is easy to get confused at this time of morning when you have to get up so early.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Well, and this has confused me because on the phone now is Leith Forrest. Hello, Leith.
Stacey and Tom, good morning. I'm not sure special guest is an appropriate term, but thank you.
Of
I
course
appreciate
it is.
the mayo that you've added to that, Tom.
At this time of the morning, it is.
I know, it's very unusual for me, Stacey, to actually be awake at this time. So, but it's a very good cause that I'm here for, so I'm happy to be here.
Yeah,
well, tell us about it, yeah.
People have called you a spud before, Leith, but today
correct.
you're taking it to the next level.
Exactly. Many people, Stacey, who saw me on the football field as a kid would have said that I was a bit of a spud. So the World Potato Congress is in Adelaide. So if you can imagine 1,000 people from around the world, from 40 different countries, have all descended on Adelaide in the last 4 days or so for seminars and to have a look at our state and tourism. So it's a major deal for the state. So we had the governor yesterday open the event officially. Minister Scrivens was part of it, as well being primary industries. But it's $1 billion industry, and South Australia is the biggest component of that, in that we sell, I think, 80% of the potatoes around the country, fresh potatoes. So a huge day yesterday of a number of seminars, another huge day today, and then they've got a big event tonight, big gala at the Adelaide Oval. But the reason I'm involved is because they pick a charity. Every time they have a World Congress, they pick a local charity to help out. And this year, for this Congress, it's Little Heroes. So because of my connection with Chris, and I'm an ambassador for Little Heroes, they asked if I would do it. So I'm hanging out with the United Nations of potatoes. So it's been fun.
It does sound like a UN-type situation, the World Potato Congress. And, it sounds like the G20.
Well, it does, and I think the reason I got chosen too, as you both know, is that I eat 2 food groups.
Yeah.
One is meat, and the other one is potatoes. So I'm right at home here, but it's been fascinating to see, not just the statistics, but also everything that affects potato growers that you and I and Tom, Stacey, we don't think about each day, from, environmental issues to pests that get into it. So how do they make it better in developing countries versus non-developing countries? So, but honestly, I'm here at the convention centre. I was hosting yesterday in the room, 1,000 people, so it was a reasonably big room, the same room that Tucker Carlson was in the night before, and I'm not sure they understood a lot of the gags that I was going with, but that's okay. Tommy, I don't know if you've ever had a room that was completely silent, but it was a little bit like that. But no, it's been fun, and it's great. It's great for the state because there's so many people here, and what they do is they bring their partners. So there's in effect 2,000 people new to the city and the state. So while the person is doing their seminars, the partner is basically going to see Adelaide. So Cleland and the Barossa and Victor Harbour and KI, so it's been good.
And Leith, how do you take your potato? I love a good baked potato, especially this time of year. Yeah. Or do you like it mashed?
Let's be honest. Tom, let's be honest, I eat it every which way. So I'm a mash fan, I'm a chip fan, I'm a potato baked fan. I did have a 5-minute conversation with a guy from the Netherlands yesterday trying to explain Matani chicken salt, because it's completely foreign to them. So they have no idea that when you go to the Adelaide Oval and get some undercooked chips, you want some chicken salt on your chips. So no, I mean there's so many great ways. You're right. The baked potato with a little bit of tuna mornay in there. Oh, that's a bit too healthy. I dodged the potato salad. Wrapping up Stacey in some alfoil, chucking it in the bottom of a bonfire, splitting it open, just dripping some butter in there. I mean, again, there's a reason it's $1 billion industry, because we all eat it.
Well, and we do have, as you mentioned, such a good potato growing industry here. Zarella Fresh, they do the Spud Light, which is the tastes like potatoes, but I think it's more than half the carbs. So they're my favourites.
That's right. And I spoke to people from overseas yesterday. That blew their mind, because they don't do that overseas. So now they're taking all the ideas that they're getting here from this Congress, that what can we take back to our own country. And so, India's here, China's here, there's people from the Netherlands, from all parts of Africa, Canada, America, Ireland, everyone that are big potato producers. And so I think it's the third biggest food group behind like maize and wheat on the planet. So all the heavies are in town. I know, I'm wearing a suit, Stacey, which is very unlike...
Wow.
I know. Tom,
I don't believe it. You've got to send us a picture.
Yeah.
Well, so you know how Tom looks amazing in a suit each and every night on the news?
He's wearing shorts and a T-shirt right now.
you know when you're at your school formal and the kids look really uncomfortable in a suit? That's me right now. Like, it's kind of ill-fitting, the tie's not ideal. I'd rather roll up my sleeves than have them down, but I'm doing my best. I'm trying to make South Australia and Little Heroes proud.
Well,
you
we'd
are.
be
You're
doing that
making
for
us
sure.
proud.
Yeah, you're a star, Lee. Thanks so much, and we'll let you get back to it.
Pleasure. I'll bring you back some chips.
Yes, please. Nice baked
Extra
potato.
chicken salt. Extra chicken salt, always. Do
Yum.
you do the extra chicken salt?
I had chips just last night when I was watching the soccer carnival with Harry, and there was a lot of chicken salt.
I love extra chicken salt.
The smell and yum. Could do some chips right now. Stacey, it is time for...
Yeah, breaking at 8 today. I think whenever any minister or politician goes overseas for an overseas trip, we expect taxpayer dollars to come to fruition. We expect something to come of it, and there's lots of reporting around how expensive some MPs' overseas trips are, and usually we get big announcements when the Premier or any of our ministers go overseas, and earlier this year was no different. The Premier went overseas to the US, and the media was informed of a new deal that was signed to get SA suppliers ready for AUKUS. The Premier put out a press release on this to all of the media on the 18th of May. Premier Peter Malinauskas has announced a new program with America's largest shipbuilder, HII. It's a new program, new agreement. There's now going to be reviews, and there was a lot of information in this almost two-page press release from the Premier's team when this happened earlier in the year. But it turns out the agreement may not be so new. Rex Patrick, former South Australian Senator and now self-dubbed FOI warrior, joins you this morning. Good morning, Rex Patrick.
Good morning, Stacey.
What have you found out? This agreement isn't so new.
Well, I was very interested when the media reported this new agreement, and so I sought access to it under FOI, and there's a reason I've done that. But I was very surprised when I got a reply or a response back after the 30-day statutory period saying, there is no new agreement. There's nothing to give to you, Mr. Patrick, because there's nothing new. They did, on questioning, on going back to them and me pointing out what the release had said, they said to me, well, there was an agreement signed back last year. I think it was signed somewhere around about November last year. So, look, there's a new request that's gone in to look for, to get access to that particular agreement. But, the reality is what's happened here, and this is where I have a problem, is that we want honesty in our politics, and this is misleading to say we're going overseas, we're going to sign up a new agreement. And in actual fact, the agreement had already been signed.
So from what you've been able to gather, there was no signature, no new agreement, nothing new out of that trip, maybe just a revisiting of an already existing agreement to do with SA suppliers and the AUKUS deal.
I think the media release was a cover for a trip that Mr. Malinauskas was having. My view on this, particularly in light of the nature of these sorts of contracts, is that when you've seen one shipyard, which we know Mr. Malinauskas has, then you've seen pretty much all of the shipyards. I've been to many shipyards around the world, and they're all very similar. There's no real cause to go to a particular shipyard, particularly in circumstances where the agreement that's in place is very, very high level.
Okay. But at the crux of this, maybe the agreement's not new, but there is an agreement in place for SA suppliers and, Huntington
Ingalls.
Huntington Ingalls Industries. So there is an agreement in place that SA suppliers, will get preference for the AUKUS deal when we start making submarines here eventually?
Look, we've been through this problem before in previous shipbuilding contracts. We had a contract with the French. We had a very similar agreement in place with the French, and yet we had very, very low Australian industry involvement in the French program. The same can be said about the Hunter program. Most people in Australian industry would say those particular agreements have not met expectations. Basically, what the Premier has signed up to is an agreement where the shipyard will consider Australian companies. Now, I liken this to effectively inviting a foreigner to come and walk along Rundle Mall, and basically we're saying there's all these shops and you can buy something if you want to. Of course, the foreigner can walk all the way along Rundle Mall, peer into whichever shops it likes, but it doesn't have to buy anything. And what keeps shopkeepers alive is people buying stuff. What keeps South Australian defence industries alive is when there are actual contracts in place. So they're relatively weak agreements. They don't bind the shipyards to do anything. And that's, in fact, one of the reasons why I've requested this. Hopefully it will be released because the Premier has a directive that says government contracts should be released. So hopefully we'll get a look at this contract eventually and we can do some analysis to see whether or not it's worth more than the paper it's written on.
All right. Rex Patrick, thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Former SA Senator there, Rex Patrick. And Tommy, I think at the crux of this, you might be thinking, all right, well, maybe it wasn't signed in May. It was signed last year, but there's still an agreement there. For me, the issue is reading this press release from the government. New deal signed. It says multiple times, new deal, new program. It justifies the trip. If the Premier can go away and sign a new deal with a defence supplier, that justifies an overseas trip to taxpayers because it's our money, and usually it's tens of thousands of dollars being spent on the Premier and maybe a team of people. I'm sure there were advisors and I'm sure there are heads of departments that go on these trips, and usually they can cost upwards of 30, 40, 50 grand at every pop every time they go away. So these announcements justify taxpayer dollars being spent on those trips. But if these announcements are false or are misleading or are not actually new, then there's no justification for the trip.
It's a good point you make.
It's really hard to justify them.
Just to play devil's advocate, and it might be, but freedom of information, and Rick's done a great job, and transparency, I think, is a great thing. We need that. You know, we work in the Fourth Estate. But is there also a part of it that we elect government officials and trust them to go out there and do good business, and if we therefore, critically analyse absolutely everything, they're going to have to feel like they justify everything? Is that a fair point? Or
yeah, but shouldn't they have to justify everything when they're spending your money, my money, our money on a trip to America? If they come back with nothing, you kind of go, what was the point?
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just me.
No, fair point.
Love to get your views, though.
And I think a lot of people would probably agree with that. Send us through your text on the Duttons text line. Don't let the Duttons end of financial year deals pass you by. Find your new car at duttons.com.au. Okay, time to check out what is happening on the roads, all thanks to the new McSmart meal from Macca's. 2 burgers, small fries and a small soft drink, just $6.95. T's and C's apply.
Morning there at Monopara West. Truck has hit a Stovey Pole on Curtis Road at Peachy Road with power and traffic lights out there. Slow at the moment at Modbury North for works. McIntyre Road near Milne Road. Getting busy south road at Glandore. Road plates in use there. Speeds at 40. And super slow at the moment Brighton Road at Glenelg East. Cameras at Cudmore Terrace, Henley Beach and May Terrace at Lockleys. The Good Guys end of financial year final days is on now. Massive deals across a huge range. Hurry for a limited time. Only at The Good Guys. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA Sports Show. Stephen Rowe and Tim Jennifer.
Bitterly disappointing loss by Port. Port's biggest loss in 5 years and most points conceded under Ken Hinkley ever. Timmy Geneva is away. I think he's on stress leave.
He is.
And Treaders has come in.
Rowie, it's fair game. We as a club play like that, fans aren't going to be happy.
The 5AA Sports Show.
It's an all-club thing for me. We all need to be better.
Weekdays from 4 p.m. on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Fresh Front. It's like renovating the outside of your home without the renovation. Fresh Front is Adelaide's #1 rated pressure cleaning company, making tired homes and businesses look new again. It's the proven and most cost-effective way to make a huge change in the appearance of your property, including pavers, driveways, retaining walls, roofs, even windows. Getting set for sale, cleaning up for a celebration, or home maintenance. Freshfront.com.au. Looks like new.
I'll grab a few people I know. We'll mark out some places to go. There's no invitation, just a destination, and that's the best freedom I know. Jump in the Jayco. Jump in the Jayco. Yeah, that's the best freedom I know.
Join over 60,000 Adelaide homes and say yes to lowering your energy bills with Yes, your energy saving solutions. Stay cosy all winter long with reverse cycle air conditioning. Yes can connect you with a new air conditioner thanks to the SA government initiative called REPS. Yes is offering eligible concession households a fully installed 2.6 kilowatt Rinnai system from only $899. Yes, $899. For T's and C's on this unbeatable offer from your energy saving solutions, go to yes.net.au. That's yess.net.au.
Harvey Norman clearance on now. The latest tech priced to clear. Save up to 30% on Windows 11 computers. French door fridges on sale. Save $120 on Hisense 483 litre with ice and water. Now under $1,500. Up to 40% off floor stock and X-Display, lounges, dining and outdoor furniture. Amazing value. Nebula queen size bed with 3 storage drawers, USB charger and LED lights, $1,399. Harvey Norman clearance. Best brands, best range at the best price guaranteed. Conditions apply.
Know the news with Adelaide's 7 News. Don't miss Adelaide's leading news hour tonight at 6 o'clock.
Purchase any Hyundai until June 30 for 3 years free scheduled servicing. T's and C's apply at participating Hyundai dealers.
5AA Winter Breakfast. Stacey Lee and Tom Wren.
And it's just gone 25 minutes past 8 o'clock on 5AA Breakfast on this Tuesday, the 25th of June.
And have had some correspondence from the Premier's Department regarding our breaking at 8, saying there was an initial agreement that the Premier signed in the US in November, but the announcement was building upon that. Yeah, but the press release didn't say that, did it? Press release said it was a new agreement. I think that's the issue here. But anyway, that's all right.
Good to get the clarification, though.
Well, is it really a clarification? Anyway, we should clarify the weather today.
Yes, can we?
Were we meant to get rain? It's sunny outside at the moment.
I know. We're supposed to be getting upwards of 25 mil, aren't we?
Yeah.
Which is a good deal of rain.
I mean, it's early days.
It is early. 26
minutes past 8 in the morning, but we have had some rainfalls already. This is in the last 24 hours since 9 a.m. yesterday. Adelaide got 9.4 mils. If you're up in Aldgate, though, 20 mils. That is a good drink. Old Noarlunga's just over 9 at 9.2. Beaumont's at 9.6. Lobethal only got 5. Tea Tree Gully 5.4 and Marion 10 mil. That's interesting, isn't it? Lobethal and Aldgate, such a big difference, 20 and 5 mil. Isn't it?
And not, that far apart, are they?
Not too far apart.
And I think the average rainfall for June in the 70s, is it, or something? And we've had already 46 mils
Yeah,
or so.
yeah.
So we're tracking.
Yeah.
Going okay. Got a week to go.
Yeah, we're on our way.
Yeah, need a bit more today, though.
Yeah, we do.
Let's also find out what's happening with regards to some Fuel Watch. Members save on RAA Solar, RAA Innovation Proprietary Limited, SA Building Licence number 319335. Now, the United Main North Road at Paraka is selling for $1.66.5. United at South Road Melrose Park, $1.67.5. You will be paying more in the east. The ex-convenience at Hamilton Terrace in Newton, $1.79.5. That's for unleaded, of course. Now, the cheapest diesel, ex-convenience Main North Road, Jeps Cross, $1.77.5. Members save on RAA Solar, RAA Innovation Proprietary Limited, SA Building Licence number 319335. So
$1.66 is pretty good.
that's good, isn't it? Anything under
see
$2, you pounce all over it. I saw it.
Stop and get that.
It's around $1.80 where I am, so $1.66 or whatever. That's great going.
Yeah.
Fill up.
Even if you've only used a quarter of the tank, I just always top it up.
Yeah, go in.
Top it up now.
Exactly. While you can. It's always a bit of a win. Feels like a good day when you can get cheap fuel.
Yeah,
or
but
cheaper, relatively.
Yeah. It would be just my luck that I would fill up and then tomorrow it goes down to a record low of $1.55 or something ridiculous like that.
You're starting to think like I do. Why does this always happen to me? Got to head across to the newsroom. We'll be back with plenty more on 5AA Breakfast.
It all started in the back shed. Maybe it started early. Or late. Either way, the Olympic Industries sale means there's no need to wait. With big savings on our entire range of SA engineered sheds, garages, carports and verandas, you can afford to start something big, tough, or tasty in your own backyard. Start something with the Olympic Industries sale. On now.
SA's own Respirico Healthcare has been supporting South Australians for 20 years. Our goal is to make a positive difference in people's lives. We do this by providing sleep disorder diagnostics and CPAP therapy, respiratory ventilators and oxygen therapy, and assistive technology equipment. Respirico Healthcare works with public and private health sectors, NDIS, DVA, My Aged Care, Closing the Gap, and self-funded clients too. That's how you start making a positive difference. Respirico Healthcare, 6 stores across SA.
Feel good health catch on with Bupa. Get up to 12 weeks free when you join on eligible products. T's and C's apply. But hurry, offer ends June 30, so search Bupa 12 weeks free today.
Now, autism is a word we hear a lot more now, but not many people know what it actually means. So be listening to the 5AA Interactive Lounge this morning with Matthew Pantelis. Representatives from the autistic and autism community will be discussing the inclusion of autistic people in the workplace.
Autism Works is a public education campaign that champions autism inclusion in the South Australian workforce, and it's an essential part of the South Australian Government's commitment to enhancing engagement and action for the benefit of autistic people and their families.
So, to learn more about how inclusivity of autistic people can work in your business, catch the 5AA Interactive Lounge this morning with Matthew Pantelis. Call 8223 0055 or visit autismworks.sa.gov.au.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
Showers today, possibly heavy, heading for 14. With the 8:30 news, I'm Graham Bunnings.
Chipped windscreen? RAA approved repairer Complete Windscreens repairs it from just $99. Find the big red koala.
A Good Samaritan is in hospital after a stabbing at Evanston Gardens this morning. Just after 2:15, he spotted 2 men trying to break into cars in Gonas Circuit. Hayden Nelson from 7 News says he chased them onto Seabrook Street.
One of the men has been involved in an altercation with this victim, or some sort of confrontation, where this 42-year-old has been stabbed in the back multiple times. Multiple paramedic crews were called. They treated the man. He was taken straight here to the Royal Adelaide Hospital, where we understand he's in the ED at the moment. He is in a serious condition, but his injuries aren't believed to be life-threatening.
The offenders fled the scene and haven't been found. A Victorian man's died in a crash about 50 k's north of Port Augusta. The 63-year-old was a backseat passenger in a car which hit a tree on the Stewart Highway yesterday afternoon. The driver, a 61-year-old woman, has been charged with causing death by dangerous driving. It's the 42nd life lost on SA roads this year. Police are investigating the deaths of 4 people found inside a home in Melbourne's north. Neighbour Corey discovered the bodies of his brother-in-law and 17-year-old nephew, along with a man and a woman who lived at the Broadmeadows property. He believes the incident may have been drug-related.
I've come home to find family members in a house deceased, my nephew and my brother-in-law, and the other 2 of my neighbours. I hope people take a lesson from it and not to fall into this type of stuff.
Officers are yet to confirm the circumstances but are not treating the deaths as suspicious. Princess Anne is in hospital with a minor head injury after an incident at her estate in Gloucestershire. Buckingham Palace says the Princess Royal has suffered a concussion. The 73-year-old remains in Southmead Hospital as a precautionary measure. She's expected to make a full and swift recovery. The state government will unveil its housing roadmap today. It's been prompted by supply not meeting demand and the housing affordability crisis. The aim is getting more homes built more quickly, with a focus north of the city. The National Science Agency is helping Australians lose weight through meal replacement shakes. Fast Start shakes are being delivered as part of the CSIRO's Total Wellbeing Diet online program. Research scientist Dr. Gilly Hendry says 98% of participants lost weight in the first 12 weeks.
Members lost on average 7 kilos, or 7.4% of their starting body weight within 12 weeks. And importantly, 3 out of 4 members achieved what we call a clinically significant weight loss. So that's more than 5% of their starting body weight. And that's what reduces your risk of type 2 diabetes and heart disease.
An underground cable fault is believed responsible for a power outage affecting more than 2,500 homes in the Seaford area this morning. SA Power Network says power has been restored to all but 58 properties, and they're likely to be without power until 3:30 this afternoon. A $20 McLaren Vale wine has won Best in Show at the Decanter World Wine Awards in London. Shingleback Wines has been recognised for its GSM blend, Red Knot Classified GSM 2022. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderol Garage Doors, adding strength, style and safety to your home. Gliderol.com.au.
And here's Jace Kemp.
Thank you, Graham. We'll start with footy. And Port Adelaide assistant coach Tyson Goldsack says Ken Hinckley is getting on with the job despite mounting pressure surrounding his position. Goldsack has told the 5AA Sports Show Hinckley is not letting the situation get him down.
The weight is huge and the noise he's hearing is huge, and you can't silence that. But what he can control, I guess, is the way that he operates at the club, and he still comes in, and I guess he has too much care and respect for the club and for his players to come in and drag his feet. So, yeah, he was in decent enough spirits this morning and just looking to turn this around.
To cricket, in Australia's T20 World Cup campaign is hanging on by a thread after going down by 24 runs to India. Australia now needs Bangladesh to beat Afghanistan to get through to the semi-finals. In the Euros, Croatia has been knocked out in heartbreaking fashion after Italy equalised with just 30 seconds left in the match. The 1-1 draw sends Italy through to the knockout stages. Former Socceroo Craig Foster has told Today it was an absolute thriller.
That was like in the 98th minute. It was literally the last kick of the game. After this, they kicked off and then he just blew the whistle and that was it. And it was devastating for Croatia.
And finally, in the NHL, the Edmonton Oilers are trying to become the first team since 1942 to come from 3-0 down in a championship series to win the Stanley Cup. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Lynn Andrews Real Estate, experts in commercial and residential property management. lynnandrews.com.au.
At Monopara West, truck house at Estoby Pole and Curtis Road at Peachy Road, power and traffic lights out there. Slow for works at Para Hills, Bridge Road near Beefield Road. Getting busy south road at Glandor. Road plates in use there and speeds at 40 k's. And got a few cameras out in the damp conditions. Look out for those at Brooker Terrace, Richmond, and Cudmore Terrace at Henley Beach. Quitting smoking is hard, but so is heart disease, emphysema and mouth cancer. Choose your hard and choose to give up for good. Visit health.gov.au/give up for good. This message is brought to you by the Australian Government, Canberra. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
See any issue firsthand with AutoCam. Real-time video, direct to you from your Automasters technician.
Showers today, possibly heavy, 14. Tomorrow, showers 15. Thursday, 16 with showers easing. And Friday, a shower or two and 18 degrees. Currently, it's 10. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Purchase any Hyundai until June 30 for 3 years free scheduled servicing. T's and C's apply at participating Hyundai dealers.
5AA Winter Breakfast. Stacey Lee and Tom Wren.
And we've got some wintry weather this week, although it's a little bit sunny than we thought it would be, with a forecast of up to 25 millimetres of rain today. It's 23 minutes to 9 o'clock here on 5AA Brekkie.
Tom Wren and Stacey Lee with you, and we want to hear from you now. 8223 0000 is the number to call. We've got tickets to give away to the best caller this morning. Gluttony presents the Glenelg Winter Arts Festival. There's shows, eats, drinks, festive at the Bay, and we've got tickets to give away to the Prinny Stevens show. She's amazing. She's got the most amazing voice. I saw her live at the Fringe earlier in the year. So those tickets, trust me, you'll want to win that double pass. But I want to hear from you this morning. Are you supposed to be retired, but you're doing something else? I want to know what you're doing. What is it? What are you doing? 8223 0000. I think we all know someone who's retired, but not really. They're doing something else.
My parents are in that category.
Are they?
Yours probably the same.
Yes. Yeah, I've got a story to tell you.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So give us a call now, 8223 0000. Stacey, before we get there though, winter, as we know, is getting into full swing, and that means that RSV cases have now hit about 100,000 infections across the country, and just to put it into perspective, that's a higher number than for the same time last year. So Asthma Australia is urging people with asthma to proactively manage their condition due to the risk of acute asthma attacks and viruses. We've got Dr. Chris Pearce, who is from the Asthma Australia board and is a member and advisor on the line. Doctor, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you for coming on. It is that kind of year, isn't it, where people have to really be cautious with everything that is going around, particularly those with asthma.
Yeah, correct. Look, obviously winter is the time when you're getting lots of the upper respiratory infections, particularly, as you've noted, RSV is on the increase. RSV is the virus that is behind conditions in children such as croup and bronchiolitis. And for those with asthma, we know that this is a risk factor. They're more likely to have more severe infections. So we're really trying to get out there and try and encourage people to get their vaccinations, practice all the social distancing things that we've learnt over COVID and hand hygiene, etc., and make sure they're in tip-top shape as they head into this difficult period.
Dr. Pearce, is RSV new, or has it just been maybe more cases in the community in the last couple of years? I reckon going back five or so years pre-COVID, I hadn't really heard of RSV.
Yeah, no, look, it's been around for a long time, probably since the dawn of time. But what we've increased our understanding of how the disease affects people with asthma, of how the virus affects people with asthma, and particularly asthma is a condition where you get inflamed airways, which makes it more likely for this virus and other viruses to affect the system. We have been trying over the last few years to try and minimise the impact of RSV, particularly as for some reason that we don't quite fully understand, cases are increasing, and it is a high case of people getting, particularly children, getting admitted to hospital with croup and bronchiolitis.
Doctor, I mentioned some of those numbers, I think 100,000 cases nationally. Is it particularly more prevalent than in recent years? And what is the best course of action for people just to go to their local GP and ask for a vaccination?
Okay, so it is increasing, and it may be an after effect of COVID. We don't quite know, but certainly influenza is also increasing. So all of these respiratory viruses are on the attack. There is no current vaccine against RSV that's widely available, although there are some trials happening in parts of the country and overseas, and we're very hopeful that, in the future this will become part of the program. But otherwise, it's really about making sure you've got your other vaccines, COVID, influenza, and making sure if you've got asthma that you're keeping up with your preventers, monitoring your illness as you're meant to. And as I said, if one thing about COVID, it's taught us about the advantages of hand hygiene and social distancing and staying home when you're sick, and we need to make those part of how we do business generally.
You're hearing from Dr. Chris Pearce. He's a board member and advisor with Asthma Australia. Yesterday we had a call, Dr. Pearce, from a listener who said that they had heard that inhalers were being removed from the PBS. This is for the puffers, for people who suffer asthma, which I'm sure you know all too well, and that the price of them would be going up to $50 a puffer or more potentially. Have you heard anything about that? Is that the case?
No, I haven't heard anything about that. There was an issue last year where they were PBS proposed taking the puffer off that was particularly useful in children, particularly small children, and after us and other groups like the RACGB campaigned, that stayed on the PBS. So, there's a little bit of give and take in the PBS over the years. Sometimes a company takes a puffer off or something of that nature, but widespread puffers, no, there's nothing that I'm aware of, and I'm certainly still prescribing.
Okay, all right, good to know. So eased minds out there that as far as we know, the puffers aren't coming off the PBS.
Yeah,
so
correct.
You can still get them.
If it's July, we'd be notified by now.
Okay, all right, that's good to know. Doctor, thanks for your time.
All right, thank you very much.
It's Dr. Chris Pearce from Asthma Australia. Let us know if it affects you. 8223 0000. I'm sure we all know someone that's got RSV at the moment or has had it recently. It's going around.
There's a lot of nasty things. And look, it does happen, most years at this time of year. We are coming into those, colder months and there's a bit happening. And, the coronavirus is still fairly prevalent as well.
Mm-hmm.
There's strains of that. So, yeah, you've just got to have your wits about you and try and stay off the sick bed. I know Jess Adamson had a nasty about Craig.
Yeah.
One of our boss was off crook. There's a lot going around, here at our workplace, and I'm sure in many people's workplaces and at homes as well.
And I've got to say, I appreciate people who are sick not coming to work.
Yes.
So thank you. I don't want to get it.
Yeah, don't want to get
Whatever it is.
I think that whole mentality's changed over the last probably 10 years.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Since COVID, 100%. It's no longer the soldier on. You're not
Get into work,
You're not brave if
toughen
you're at
up.
work and sick anymore. It used to be, oh, good on you. Thank you for coming in. Now it's like, ugh, go home.
Go home. I don't want that
make
cough.
us all sick. Yeah.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think that's probably right, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're not going to be much good anyway. You're not going to be as productive if you're feeling miserable.
No, and you're making everyone else sick.
Correct.
Yeah, no, I don't want that.
Now, we've put the call out.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you doing? You're supposed to be retired, but you're doing something else.
Yeah. I think there's probably quite a lot of people who have retired or are meant to be retired, but have found themselves doing something different, something maybe they didn't plan to do. And I've experienced this in my family recently. My dad's in his 60s. He's meant to be retired, but he's recently taken up Uber driving. So my dad's driving Ubers around. He's working all hours of the day and night, taking people home from the city on big nights out. He lives in Sydney.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, Dad, what's going on here?
What did he do before he retired?
What did he do? A bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
So he had he was a health inspector, health and safety inspector. He had a cleaning business as well. Classic Greek man, innovative Greek man, little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
He had a building maintenance company, had his finger in a lot of pies.
I love it though. You know what? Keep the mind ticking over, stay active, it keeps you engaged. Is he enjoying it?
He's loving it. He loves Uber driving.
Extra money as well?
Yes, and he's now also become an extra. He's signed up for some talent agency and he's an extra in TV shows and movies as well. I'm like, Dad, you're meant to be at home with your feet up. You've worked your whole life. You can stop working now. But he loves it.
Just right into it. That's so good.
So I want to know from you, 8223 0000. Surely there are some more Uber drivers out there.
Are there any Uber drivers or movie extras? Yeah, like you said, 8223 0000. My parents, they're retired, both teachers for a long time. 6 grandkids under the age of 10, so
busy.
They're full-time babysitters, they are. And they're brilliant with kids. Like, you know how, I don't know, you think you're great with kids, but teachers, I think, have the ability to relate to them and just, tap into their world, and they're so good with it.
Yeah.
So we lean on them a fair bit, probably more than we should.
I bet. I'm sure they love it.
Yeah, I think they do. Let's get to the calls, though, shall we? Sue has given us a call from South Plympton. Hello, Sue.
Hi. I think I'm like your parents. I do 4 school drop-offs, 2 school pick-ups, but I also do things that I wanted to do while I was working but couldn't. I go to aquarobics, I go to Bible study at my church, things that I just didn't have time to do when I worked. So I do get some enjoyment as well.
That's great, Sue.
I love time with the grandchildren.
It's so precious, isn't it? And I know the relationship my parents have with the grandkids. It's something that is so amazing, isn't it? You know, it's a chance to parent a second time round.
Yeah, and, you don't get the bills that go with it.
No, and you can give them as much chocolate as you want.
That's right, and hand them back. You're the fun time grandparents.
Yeah.
Oh,
definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good stuff. Thanks, Sue. Thanks for your call.
The call, Sue. Good on you.
The texts are coming through as well. I've just had one come through from someone who you know.
Oh, no.
Paul Martino, who's a great cameraman and now Chief of Staff at Channel 7. His dad, a retired policeman, now volunteering as a driver for Nonna Kachina 2 days a week.
Oh.
He's 77. That's a good effort.
Oh, that's amazing. That's a good delivery driver to have in the family, isn't it?
Another very good mate of mine, Kenny, who's a good bloke. He's got a Scottish mate who I know as well. I won't name him to embarrass him. Just plays golf and lunches. That's not bad.
Well, see, that's retirement. that is what you should be doing in retirement.
Yeah.
I hope to take up golf and lunch every day in retirement.
You'd be a good little golfer, I reckon.
Would I?
Oh, yeah, competitive.
I don't know. I'm not very coordinated.
No, I'm not going to hear that. No, you're being modest.
No, so we want to hear from you this morning. What are you doing instead of retirement? You're meant to be retired, but you're doing something else. Give us a call, 8223 0000. We've got tickets up for grabs this morning as well.
Yeah, so get on the lines now. In the meantime, we'll check out what is happening on the roads, all thanks to the new McSmart meal from Macca's. 2 burgers, small fries and a small soft drink. Just $6.95. T's and C's apply.
Thanks, Tom. At Monopara West, truck has hit a Stobie pole, Curtis Road at Peachy Road with parent traffic lights out there. Slow for works at the moment. Modbury North, McIntyre Road near Milne Road, getting busy for the drive-in. South Road at Karata Park, and a bit sluggish at the moment, Greenhill Road at the Unley Road intersection. Cameras, Cudmore Terrace, Henley Beach, and Valletta Road at Fulham Gardens. This June, Prop Jade C-Marts have great buy 3, get 1 free, plus instant cashback deals with 15 stores located in Adelaide. They'll look after you. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Have you got your tickets yet? Just 3 days to go for 2 chances to live mortgage-free in Henley Beach. Only 3 days to buy your tickets in the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery, giving you 2 chances to live the dream mortgage-free in a fully furnished Scott Salisbury home with a bonus $100,000 in your pocket. The absolute final deadline is midnight Friday. Life-changing prizes, life-changing impact. HomeLottery.com.au.
Licence 14548. Now let's see what's in the swear jar at Buy Urban Bathrooms and Kitchens. Oh, wrong swear jar. This is it. From Martin the Tiler, affectionately known as Millimeter Martin. He swears you'll love his millimeter perfect craftsmanship. And here's one from Rick the Plumber. Rick swears to always clean up after himself, guaranteed. For a team that swears to deliver on quality and service, see Buy Urban Bathrooms and Kitchens, Adelaide's home renovation experts.
Now, the 5AA studios are a bit like a playground, and like most playgrounds, they tend to get a little bit messy. Now, fortunately, Corporate Clean ensures they're always ready for another day of play. 5AA is one of over 200 businesses they clean throughout South Australia.
And an unclean workplace leads to more absences and less productivity. Studies on bacteria, we were just talking about that. If someone's sick in the office, if someone's been at the hot desking is a thing now. If someone's been coughing and spluttering at the desk, you don't want to catch that. But some studies have revealed that bacteria on desktops can be just as unsanitary as toilets. I don't want to know about that. But not in offices cleaned by Corporate Clean. They don't cut corners, they just clean them.
And Corporate Clean are a locally owned business. We love that, with over 30 years of experience cleaning all types of office settings. There's no one better suited for the job. For a free quote and assessment, go to corporateclean.com.au.
Are you eagerly awaiting a relocation sale to stock up on four-wheel drive and camping gear? Great news! As of July 1, TJM Clovelly Park will open their doors at their new address, 115 Sheriffs Road, Ranilla, which means they're clearing out heaps of ex-display stock and everything must go. Give the crew at TJM Nailsworth a call and find out what's up for grabs at both locations during their relocation sale starting Monday, July 1.
Steinborner Automotive in Gawler, Barossa and Clare has always been well worth the trip, especially with their end of financial year sale on over 500 new, used and demo cars, including over 50 new and demo Mazda CX-3, CX-5 and the best deals on BT50 and SA. Plus, they're offering an additional $1,500 trade-in bonus on all trade-ins. Head to Barossa Mazda in Uriutpa or view the whole range at steinborner.com.au. Steinborner Automotive. It's well worth the trip.
Purchase any Hyundai until June 30 for 3 years free scheduled servicing. T's and C's apply at participating Hyundai dealers.
5AA Winter Breakfast. Stacey Lee and Tom Wren.
Well and truly on the home stretch now here on 5AA Breakfast. 8:53 on this Tuesday, the 25th of June. We've been taking calls. What are you doing in retirement?
Yeah, surely either yourself or maybe someone you know, your parents or grandparents, meant to be retired, but they're not quite. They're doing something else. And we want to know what that is this morning. It's inspired by my dad, who's meant to be retired, but has started driving Ubers. And now he's also an extra in movies. He sent me a photo of himself on a movie set the other day.
What's the name of the movie, or he's not allowed to
I'm not
reveal?
allowed to say.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was a wedding scene, though.
Nice.
Yeah.
So he's one of the wedding guests.
Yeah,
I
he was a guest
presume.
at the wedding.
I love that.
I know.
Good stuff. All right, well, let's get to John, who has called in from Colonel Light Gardens. Hi, John.
Hi. Yes, look, I call myself retired with 50 inverted commas since June 2015. So first thing, I've got grandkid duties on Mondays and Tuesdays.
Oh, that's busy.
I've been chair of Southern Volunteering SA since 2014. Spend half the time, a lot of the time, lobbying. I do about 20 hours. I do about 20 hours volunteer work a week. I was chair of the footy club for 20 years, up to 2021, and then I took on the secretary's job of the Sports and Social Club. And the funny thing about that is they look after the club rooms. So the very first job I had was working at John Martin's on the ground floor, looking after the bins and the cardboard and whatever. And now, on Mondays, I look after the bins, put them out from the Sports and Social Club from activities from the previous week. So my line is, it's taken me 54 years to get back to the bottom.
Yeah. You've come full circle, but John, that's great that you're giving back, and gee, you're as active as ever.
I know.
Yes, my wife is not pleased I'm so activated, but we do reserve time for each other too. But about last Friday week, I ran a reunion for the Brighton High Old Scholars Footy Club, which went fantastic, but that took a lot of time too. Had 70 people involved, and So anyway, there's always something happening, and I occasionally ring up 5AA.
Yes,
Yeah.
and we love it, John. Thank you for the call, and we'll let you get off to Grandy duty if that's today. Good luck.
Yes, that'll be a 3 o'clock pickup. Yeah.
Well, have fun. Thanks for the call. That's John in Colonel Light Gardens. We have a text here. A single parent, registered nurse with 3 jobs previously. Get up at 5, deliver my beautiful son to my parents, then travel to Mount Barker to Adelaide to arrive at work 6 days a week. Retirement means doing nothing when I want, doing what I want when I want, as it should be.
Yeah. Sounds like that's a tough gig that she's got there. It is difficult for a lot of people just to make ends meet, and relying on grandparents to do, like John said, is so important to help out with the babysitting and everything, school pickups, drop-offs, because people are working, shift workers,
Well, I keep saying you need 2 incomes to be able to afford a
Big
mortgage
time.
or a rent these days. So, there's not many parents staying home to look after kids.
Exactly. Let's go to Ralph from Kent Town, who's also given us a call. Hello, Ralph.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hello.
These days, I'm the concierge team leader at the Sofitel at the tender age of 68.
Ah, that sounds fun, Ralph.
Look, it is. I discovered something when I was cleaning up through my storage facility the other day, and that was my Texas Hotel Motel Association, because I was the general manager of a pub in Dallas in 1982. So I've crawled my way to the middle, and I'm back there again, and I'm loving it.
Oh, good on you, Ralph. That's great. Oh, we love that. 8223 0000 is the number to call. We have tickets to give away, Tommy, to
have you got a
Glenelg
winner?
Winter Arts Festival. Yeah, who do we think? I reckon maybe John.
John? Yeah, John was a great call.
Volunteering SA as well, volunteers 20 hours a week. So, John, for your efforts, we're going to send you along to see Prinny Stevens on Tuesday, the 25th of June, as part of Glenelg Winter Arts Festival. Shows, eats, drinks, and the festive fun at the Bay. It's on from the 5th to the 21st of July in Collie Reserve. All tickets are at glenelgwinterfestival.com.au.
And loving those text messages as well on the Duttons text line. This from Pete. My old man started a dog walking business, hit a serious snag when he had his second hip replacement.
Oh, yeah, that'll get in the way.
That'll do it. Great stuff. And amazing from you again, Stacey, this morning. Love your work.
Stop it,
We'll
Tom.
be back again tomorrow.
Yeah, but before we go, we've got some breaking news. Julian Assange has apparently struck a plea deal with the US. This is in regards to time already served. And it seems like he's now going to be released from prison in the UK and will return to Australia soon. So there'll be more on this in the 9am news with Graham Goodings, which it's now time for. Thank you so much for your calls and texts this morning, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll be back at 6 o'clock. Have a great day. Stay dry, and we'll see you tomorrow morning here on 5AA Breakfast.
On 5AA mornings today, the Premier announced